How's it going, everyone? So, things are a little different. I have my microphone off to the side, away from me, just so I don't knock it over. I've already knocked it over in testing like 3 times today, and this mic's way too expensive. In fact, let me just tap the boost here, just a smidge. So I'm sorry if I'm a little quieter. I know the camera flicker, whatever. That's not going to be solved until we get that new capture card, which the person who's supposed to send it to me got into a car accident. So, I mean, they're okay. They're alive. Everything's fine. So, I'm not really going to be pushing him really at all to get it sent to me. He's going to send it to me when he can send it to me. So, at this point, I don't expect it till sometime in 2019. Kind of sucks because I want to do that review of Let's Go Beach, Let's Go Eevee. I'm trying to see if I could borrow a capture card to get enough footage captured of what I need to get captured to do that review. Because you don't really need to capture footage to do like a written review. But I want to do the video review. So we'll see what happens. And if I end up being short on footage for it, I might just do the review anyways. So let me just say hi to everyone. First, we got Fire Falcon X, Joy-Con Nation, Nothing, Stinky Nate, Sound Plug, Sonic Man, the best is here. Welcome. I haven't seen you in a while. The MW Experience as well. Johnny Hernandez, Ryan Lista, Duo's up in here. Super Mario. Let's see here. Nick Figures is up in here as well. Sour Onion 2. Seguin, the Pikachu fan. Let me see here. Anyone else I'm missing off the bat? Ultimate Keymaster is up in here. Along with Ryan S. And I don't think there's anyone on Twitch right now. So, well, there's one person watching, but they haven't said anything yet. So I can't shout them out. Alright, cool. Well, welcome everyone. How's it going? Does it feel like it's been a hot minute since I've live streamed? I feel like it's been a hot minute since I've live streamed. That's for sure. Probably because it factually has been a hot minute since I've live streamed. So there was already a couple questions coming in. So let me just hit those questions first. Again, I apologize for the camera flicker. Until I get that new capture card, it's not really going to be anything I can do much about. So, let's see here. What's with the music? It's just a compilation like top 300 Nintendo songs. The first one played... Gosh, I don't even remember what the first one was. The second was the Wii Shop channel. The third song was actually from Super Mario 3D Land or 3D World. And then the next song was actually going to be Gate of Time from Skyward Sword. But I cut it off before that happened. Ryan Lisa asked, why wasn't there a stream yesterday? I know, right? I haven't missed a Monday stream. And God, how long has it been since I missed a Monday stream? I mean, it's probably been months, right? I've pretty much gotten a stream out on Monday every single time. For months, ever since I started doing that Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing. Just had a lot going on. Just a lot of family stuff with the kiddos, homework, and just a lot of stuff. So I ended up not obviously streaming last night. I kind of knew, I knew earlier in the day I wasn't going to be streaming. So to be fair to you guys, I probably should have updated you on that and said, hey, I'm not going to be streaming tonight. But I didn't really think it was too big of a deal at the time. But yeah, whatever. I didn't stream last night. I'm here late tonight. I was even going to start the stream like 2 hours ago, but other stuff came up. Life's just getting busy. It's December. We're entering the holidays. It's Smash Bros. Week. We got the Game Awards. You guys know we'll be live streaming the Game Awards and all that as well on Thursday and live reacting to that. So that should be fun. So yeah, it's kind of a jam-packed week, and we're only on Tuesday. Got a Prime News out today. Last week I hit Prime News on Tuesday and Thursday. Probably going to do Prime News on Tuesday and Thursday again this week. I might just do Tuesday and Thursday for Prime News for the rest of the month, just because it's just a busy month. So cutting down my Prime News episodes is only 2 per week. On the days I usually don't do it, just works really, really well for me personally. Let me see here. Johnny Hernandez says, hey, Metroid Prime Trilogy coming to Nintendo Switch. They're going to show it at the Game Awards. So I almost made a video on the Metroid Prime Trilogy thing today. I decided not to because the retail listing itself, the translated transcript of the description of that retailer listing essentially says, this is just a rumor. We are putting it up in anticipation that it might get revealed at the Game Awards. So basically, they're just trying to get a jump on people pre-ordering something that they don't even know if it exists. They openly admit on the page they do not know if Metroid Prime Trilogy is a thing, and they do not know if it will appear at the Game Awards. Now, other people, I brought up other YouTubers and other people on Twitter that have been kind of hinting that, oh, maybe something Metroid's coming. I honestly, I've yet to see any actual evidence that the Metroid Prime trilogy or Metroid Prime 4 are even going to be shown there. Now, obviously, Metroid Prime 4 has previously been announced, so I think it's a good crowd to show off Metroid Prime 4 too, but I don't know that that means necessarily much of anything. I think Bayonetta 3 is the game that has a much higher chance of being shown. But they both could get shown, or neither of them could get shown, and they could show us something else entirely, or Nintendo could literally unveil nothing game-wise at the Game Awards. That's always a possibility. It's one we don't like to think about. Nintendo has one prior Game Awards where they didn't have any new games unveiled, but Nintendo's probably going to show out in a big way because they want to help push that Switch momentum. And even if it's not an unveiling, we could see more Fire Emblem, we could see more Daemon X Machina. It might be a good crowd to kind of flash that game in front of. So Nintendo could use it as a promotional for games they already have announced as well. We have plenty of gameplay of, just because, hey, it's a good platform. With like last year, they had 11 million people worldwide watching. That's 11 million people. That's more than Nintendo gets on their E3 live streams. So 11 million people is a massive crowd to try to advertise Switch to. You're going to want to hit them with the right games. Let's see here. Scrolling down. Remember, if you have questions for me, just at Nintendo Prime in the chat, with the space, without the space. Either way, it will ping me. Keep the Twitch up as well in case we get started getting questions over there. Anybody want pizza? I could go for pizza. I love pizza. But I'm okay. Let's see here. Sonic Man the Best says, hey, did you see the video where Nintendo's headquarters was shooting lasers? Sakurai was mad at Mexico. Yeah, I saw some guy made some like meme-filled video about Sakurai being pissed at Mexico and then firing lasers. Is he pissed at Spain now too? At Amazon Spain because they sent the games out early because they're on holiday during its release? You know, it's life. Let's see here. God, I don't know if it annoys you guys. It really annoys me. That flickering, it really, really annoys me. And the funny thing is, it was not flickering until I hit go live. So, who'da thunk it? Let's see here. Duo asked how the capture card is going. I kind of addressed it earlier, but the guy who's sending me the capture card got in a car accident over the weekend. And he's okay. He's alive. He'll be fine. He's just going to be in pain for a while. And he is planning to still send it out to me. But obviously I am not going to keep pushing him on it, because the guy just got in a car accident, man, and he's sending me like a, $300, $400 piece of equipment for free. I'm not going to sit there and keep pressuring him into it, even though I really, really want it. And my live streams and my Let's Go Pizza, Let's Go Eevee review is on hold right now because of it. There's things I really, really want to use it for. I even want to start doing direct recording instead of having to always transfer files off of the memory card, because you keep doing that and deleting, that could actually shorten the life of my memory card, and I want to save that memory card for when I have to use it, when I'm on the go. So it is what it is. I'm very appreciative of what he's doing for me, and I'm just going to be patient because, the guy's going through a lot of stuff right now. It doesn't mean I technically should get a second, cheaper capture card, by the way, but more on why I could use a second, cheaper capture card another time. Let's see here. Are we going to be playing Spin the Bottle? No, so what that is every $1 or more, super chat or donation, equals a spin of the wheel. So say you, threw $10, right? If it lands on shot, it means I do a shot, of this or this. Or if it's like $100, then it would be a shot of tequila. But we all know they ain't getting no $100 super chat or donation, so I ain't got to worry about that. If it lands on sit-ups or push-ups, I have to do 10 sit-ups or 10 push-ups, etc. That's kind of how that goes. I got the push-up and sit-up thing. I don't know if you guys want to do it at home. You don't have to. This isn't my workout stream. But I actually really like the spinning the wheel and getting some extra reps in during live streams, because it's good and I feel good doing it. And I do not have a shirt on here. That's some chest hair. I'm literally just wearing the sweatshirt because I just don't care. I'm in that just don't care mood right now. It's been a hell of a week. Hell of a week so far, anyways. And on top of that, my video. Oh man. So I had a video blow up this past week. that video on the 6.2 Nintendo Switch update, you know, Nintendo trying to deal with hackers, whatever, that blew up, and that video is over a week old now. And that blew up all week. It's now the most viewed video on the channel. And today, after it already crossed 200,000 views, today the video got flagged for not being suitable for most advertisers. And I went back and listening to the video. I don't know what in there would have got it flagged. I mean, I'm disputing the flag. I guess what sucks about it being flagged isn't so much the ad revenue. It's that when a video is flagged, it stops sharing it. And that basically means the video is done. 207,462 views. It might get up to 208,000, but it's probably not going to go any higher. When it was getting like 30, 40, 50,000 views a day for a little bit there. It's crazy views, but YouTube put a stop to it by flagging it, even though I listened to the whole 8 minutes and I didn't say any swear words, I didn't say anything inappropriate. I didn't do anything in there that should have even got it flagged. So I don't know how they based the flagging on this. Maybe because the dislike ratio is 68.6% because my video is being advertised to the hacking community. But whatever the case might be, I did dispute it. It'll probably sometime tomorrow or the next day go away. But that video's done. It's not going to get hardly any more views, and that's okay. You know, I rode the wave for the week. We're good. All my other videos have been doing well, doing pretty good too, except for the ones today have been kind of down. The Prime News episode might not even hit 1,000 views. That always makes me sad. I work so hard on those Prime News videos, but you know, I know they are not like the most popular form of content on my channel. You know, people are more into my other forms of content, especially when I do individual stories. Like if I had took that Prime News, like if I did the last story 2 as its own video, it would have blew up. If I did the Crash Team Racing thing as its own video, it would have got more views than Prime News. But like when you throw it all together, I don't know. They're the videos I like to make, though, so they're going to keep existing. I love Prime News. It's like my favorite show that I do. Let's see here. Scrolling up here. 2 more days for the Game Awards. Yup. Go on YouTube and go see the Nintendo Mexico. I already watched it. Stinky Nate says, I haven't watched any of your streams before. This is your first. Nice, man. Welcome. Soundplug says, getting Smash. Well, that is the goal. I don't currently have the money for Smash. But it's not like we're in financial trouble. I just don't have the spare cash to actually pay for it. The big thing, though, is on Friday, we are actually selling the van. Our minivan's been broken down for quite some time. It's technically drivable, just not safe to put our children in. Lots of little issues with it. So, including the fact that one big issue, the transmission's going on. I mean, the thing's got 208,000 miles on it. So it's, and right, that's pretty close to how many views that one video had. But yeah, it's toast, and we're selling it, and they're coming to pick it up and pay us on Friday. And then maybe out of the money that we got from that, I might pick up Smash Bros. That day. Probably will pick up Smash Bros. That day before putting the rest in the bank. But it's all right. It's all good. We got some. We don't really have a lot of plans coming up for this weekend, anyways. Let's see here. I'm just probably playing lots of Smash. Unfortunately, won't be able to stream it for you guys unless I get my hands on a cheaper capture card. Maybe I'll Craigslist one. Maybe I can find like an old, a really old, you know, HD 60 or something out there on Craigslist that someone will sell me for like $20. But I'm not really getting my hopes up on that. Just because the second capture card is more so because I want to use my professional camera, which is right over here, in every live stream. And then so if I'm using it in every live stream, that means that like I need a second capture card for game footage. I'll just run game footage through it for now and use webcams. But as you know, this webcam flashing problems. Let's see here. Scrolling down. Will I get banned if I post a YouTube link? It just won't even show your YouTube link. So it doesn't ban you for posting it. It just won't appear publicly. And no, you cannot. I don't want you. In general, I don't want people putting up YouTube links anyways. Because sending people away from my live stream in the middle of the live stream doesn't really sound enticing to me. You mentioned the video several times. If people want to know, they can go type up a search for it. and figure it out. Let's see here. Perfect timing. Just got home from work. Nice. Hey, when Resident Evil 2 remake demo coming to Switch? I have no idea. Is Resident Evil 2 remake coming to Switch? Has that even been announced? Maybe it has been announced, and I just am out of the loop. Yeah, I don't think that's even been announced. In fact, all the news says they're not doing the Switch version, so there you go. Let's see here. We have to take my friend to her surgery after your surgery is on Thursday. Yeah, my son has surgery tomorrow. He doesn't really. He's getting some cavities filled, and my son is really sensitive and overreactive, so they're going to end up putting him under in order to fill his cavities. Sucks to think he's going to get put under just for some cavity fills, but God, I can't imagine them trying to do it if they just numbed him. It would not go well. That kid can't sit still. Heck, we were at the movie theater. Went to a movie today. I went to the new Grinch movie, and he, because it's $5 Tuesdays, took him to the Grinch movie, and he had a hard time sitting still for the whole movie. he sat for like three-fourths of it. Then he had to stand and kind of pace himself. He doesn't have ADHD or anything. He just he gets nervous and stuff like that as more people kept coming in the theater and all that stuff. Let's see here. Wanna Sprite cranberry? Sure. I mean, I got normal Sprite back here for my throat, but because I have a little bit of a cold. But yeah, I don't. But I'd probably grab one just for this stream, just in case my throat. Oh, great! All my wires, not all my wires, but a bin I had with my extra wires in it just dumped. More for me to pick up in this hellhole of a studio. Actually, I really love the studio. I just I need to take like a day off and just focus on getting the studio in the shape I want it to be. Granted, it's in the shape for me to record all the videos I want to do, but there's like papers everywhere, some tools I have out that I keep using randomly instead of just having them set up in a good place. I mean, look at that. The Just Dance bottle just fell just because I don't know any place for it right now. And anyways, it's more so frustrating to work in than actually affecting the ability for me to record stuff. Let's see here. Thomas Maynard says, hey, welcome, Thomas Maynard. Is that a new YouTube account? You don't even have an avatar on that one. It says, in NBA 2K19, I picked up Manu Ginobili as a free agent for 2 years and $9 million. What do you think? Good pickup. No. Manu Ginobili's retired. So, I mean, he might be available in the game, but no, he's not good anymore. I mean, he's worth veterans minimum at best. But can they accidentally flag it like a bot? Well, most of YouTube's flagging is automated. So when YouTube flags something for ad purposes, it's automated. The problem is when things get flagged, even if it's just temporarily, it kills the video. Like, on the spot, boom, YouTube stops sharing your video. And that sucks. That's what I hate the most. More so than the ads. Like, whatever, I don't make any more ad revenue on it. It's fine. But, man. Let's see here. And yes, for those wondering, I'm always a little bit behind the chat because I'm trying to go through all the questions instead of just staying with the most up-to-date questions in the chat. I try. Obviously, if the chat's moving too fast, things are getting missed. But let's see here. I like how there's a fight game section before Smash Bros. Releases. Okay. Your grandfather's Toyota has over 271. Well, this is the 2009 Dodge Caravan, which is a really crappy make and model Caravan for the year. It's like terrible. The transmission, we've already replaced the transmission in it once. We're not doing it again. So we're selling it. It's all good. I mean, we got more money for it than we thought we were gonna get. I mean, granted, technically the check's not cut, so maybe we'll end up lowering their offer once they get here and inspect it. But I'm suspecting they're not going to lower the offer, and we'll get what they offered us. I sold it through Peddler, which is a place that's really easy to sell junk cars because they'll just literally come and pick it up and won't charge you a towing fee, and they'll just give you money on the spot, which is nice. So there's a guy coming all the way from Minnesota on Friday to come take care of that. So it should be interesting. Let's see here. What are your thoughts on Zelda thing being announced during the Game Awards? Do I think it's a bit unrealistic? It's not unrealistic because obviously Breath of the Wild did a lot of advertising at the Game Awards. And Breath of the Wild won Game of the Year at the Game Awards. So I think it's not unrealistic. I think it's more so I wouldn't expect it. I wouldn't be surprised. Skyward Sword HD gets announced. A new Zelda game that's like a top-down one, which I don't know if that'd be the best crowd to do that one too, but whatever. It wouldn't surprise me. But I think the only realistic expectation is Bayonetta 3. Everything else is just you really want it to be there. People really want an HD Metroid Prime trilogy to exist. So of course they're going to say, Game Awards, do it. Like, look, this retailer put it up that on the retailer side admits they're just guessing. So, yeah, I'm just going to sit back and only expect Bayonetta and be completely surprised if there's anything else. Unless something leaks that's legit that, to change my expectations. Yeah, the van sales should be fine. We're gutting it out on Thursday, and then they should just be taken. It shouldn't even be an issue. So, I'm not too worried about it. We are in the process, we actually have a car that we have right now that we're in the process of finalizing the paperwork for to actually purchase it. We won't be just we'll be paying it off over time, but it'll be a small car payment. We'll probably have it paid off by summer next year. But it's a 2004 Malibu, but it only had like 40,000 miles on it, so like it's in really, really good condition. So it works. It's at least one functioning working car with no known issues at the moment. And research on it shows that it's actually a good make and model for the year. So, we'll see how long this one lasts us. We're not paying that much for it. Let's see here. Oh, I have a Player Essence raid? Did we have a Player Essence raid that I totally missed? Is that why we're at 53 viewers? I thought it was weird that we're at 53, but sometimes we just get to 53 viewers. Not even kidding. Tony Kamen Kuran. You're the first person I saw from the Player Essence raid. That apparently happened. I had no idea. I haven't talked to OJ in a while, actually. I mentioned him in a recent tweet, and he liked it, but, I mean, we didn't actually talk. It's time for the sex jokes. Jeez. Flying Dead L, welcome, man. You vs. Me TV says, what's your take on the PlayStation Classic fiasco? I don't really know everything going on with it because I saw basically all the headlines that said don't buy it. It's garbage. I don't know why it's garbage, but people weren't already impressed with the lineup, and there was like the 50 hertz thing with certain games, even in the U.S. But I don't know what else is on with it because I haven't watched any videos on it or done any research because I just don't give a shit. I wasn't a PlayStation guy. Don't care about the PlayStation 1 for sure. Unfortunately, I'm not saying it doesn't have great games. Just for me personally, never played any of them, so I don't really have a lot of interest in the PlayStation Classic. And everyone I know has been saying it's garbage. So, sounds like the quickest. Oh, and I know it's using a free, an open source free emulator from the internet that somebody else built. So they didn't even build a new emulator from the ground up to properly function. So honestly, it sounds like the most rushed, cash-grabby POS ever. Obviously, using the Classic name was to try to build off of Nintendo's reputation to sell more of them. It sounds like hot garbage to me. So, I mean, this is Sony. Sony that is censoring third-party and first-party games now to fall in line with, their global standards or whatever. Like they're being stricter than Nintendo, the family-friendly company. Does anyone know what Sony's doing anymore? It's almost like, hey, we're the market leader, so we just want to take dumps and shits and piss all over our fan base, heading into PlayStation 5. I felt like we've been here before, right? They did this with PlayStation 3. They got super cocky and full of themselves and just did a whole bunch of decisions that no one understood. And now, like, they're starting to feel like they're doing that again. And this is at the time when it almost felt like, hey, look, they were actually talking about, allowing full crossplay and everything. That was starting to not become an issue, and there's more issues. I don't know what they're doing. And no company's perfect, by the way. So, like, as much as you can, like, criticize some of this stuff from Sony, it's just stuff that baffles me and doesn't make sense. But there's things Nintendo does that baffles me and doesn't make sense either. So, it's just no company's perfect. It just feels weird, Sony in the position they are, doing some of the things they're now doing. I don't get it. Like, how can they not get a proper PlayStation Classic out the door? Like, they're not Sega. Okay, Sega's had issues getting a proper classic system out the door forever for their Genesis. They keep using AT games, which sucks. They're terrible at making proper consoles, but whatever. Not my problem, I suppose. Does the dentist allow you to stay with my kid? Yeah, I'll be in the room the whole time. I'll be in the room when they put him under. I can't remember what they're using, what anesthetic they're using to put him under for the dentist, but it'll be fine. I'll be in the room the whole time. So I think the only time they might rush me out is if there was like an allergic reaction or something, just because they have to deal with it and they don't need me like standing over and rushing to his side and like getting in the way of them actually administering the medicine to get him out of shock. But as far as we're aware, he's not allergic to any of that stuff. So, and I think they do actually do a small test before they put him completely under. I'm not too worried about it. Let's see here. Did I get a PlayStation Classic? No Super Android 64, and it doesn't sound like I am missing out. Let me see here. Humanopoly, they didn't numb you? They're supposed to numb you. They're supposed to inject a thing in you that numbs your half your face when they do cavities. I should know. I've had cavities filled. That's weird that they didn't numb you. Did you tell them you wanted to be numbed? Like, it doesn't really cost any extra. The insurance covers it usually. Unless if you weren't under insurance, you were paying out of pocket. Maybe they didn't do it to save you money. I don't know. Or save your parents money. But every time I had a cavity, small or big, I freaking got numbed. I'm like, no, numb me up. Don't just drill into my tooth without numbing me up. It ain't happening. There's so many nerves in your teeth. Like, forget that. Anyways, I did think we get a Last Story remaster and or sequel. Well, the Last Story 2 is with a logo is listed at that German retailer that had the Assassin's Creed collection for Switch. So that's a thing. We talked about that today. And Nintendo did re-up the trademark on The Last Story. So if The Last Story 2 is coming out, I could see them doing like an HD version of The Last Story on Switch. Maybe before The Last Story 2 comes out as like a refresher, because it's been 7 years for the West, but 8 years for Japan. So I think it's possible, and I think a sequel could happen. Xenoblade Chronicles has shown consistent growth as a franchise from the first game to X to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and I think Nintendo would really like to have more JRPGs that are exclusive under their wing. They already have this one, so they might as well make a sequel if Mistwalker and stuff were willing to do that. And I think they probably would be. I don't know why they wouldn't want to work with Nintendo. Nintendo's covering all the expenses, so it's like a no risk proposition for them. Either the sequel does really, really well and Nintendo continues it, or it doesn't and Nintendo pulls the plug. It's not the end of the world. But better than not doing anything at all. Let's see here. A bunch of people saying Happy Hanukkah. Did Hanukkah start today? I'm not, I'm a Roman Catholic, so I don't even know when Hanukkah starts. Did it start today? Is that why I've heard Happy Hanukkah like 30,000 times? Let's see here. This is some recent questions too. I now have like the most recent YouTube chat up in one window, and then like the one where I'm trying to catch up in the other, because there's been no one talking over on Twitch. Stinky Nate has to go to bed later, man. Let's see here. Nintendo is still updating the 3DS. Why? Because they're still selling the 3DS. They're not going to like stop updating it when they're still selling it, and they still have a new game coming to it in 2019. So that's a weird question. I had an open roster spot and thought Manu could get some points off the bench. Sure. I mean, I don't even know what he's rated. I've never picked him up in free agency in 19, so I don't know even what he's rated. Let's see here. Thoughts on Mike McCarthy's firing? Wow, I didn't think we get a question on the Green Bay Packers. And who would you like to see as the next head coach of the Packers? It's about time. It should have happened years ago. He has not updated the offensive scheme at all to fit with against modern defenses. So many of the routes are vertical. I don't like it. And I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers has played well, by the way. Aaron Rodgers has not played well this year. He's been an above-average quarterback this year that just doesn't turn the ball over. An above-average quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over. That's what Aaron Rodgers has been this year. So it's not like I'm taking all the blame off of him, but Mike McCarthy, man, should have been gone a long time ago. As for who would I like to see, because we have Aaron Rodgers, I wouldn't mind seeing Josh McDaniels come in. It'd be really interesting to see the Patriots system with Aaron Rodgers. I think Josh McDaniels was in a really crappy situation the last time he was a head coach. He had to deal with Jay Cutler and all this crap in Denver. I think if he comes into Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, and even like Jimmy Graham, who's under contract, I think he will be more apt to get a Patriot-style offense working on the Packers, which involves running the ball more, which would be awesome since we have a really good running back. So I think he would be a nice fit. At least offensively, I don't know if he's going to keep the same D coordinator, if he bring in his own people. I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking on that side of the ball, but that's not for me to worry about. That's who I would like to see, anyways. Whether or not that's going to happen, who knows? Let's see here. How do they put a Band-Aid on a belly button? Can they? Usually it's a cotton swab, and then they tape it down. They could also do a liquid Band-Aid, which is literally directly applied to the skin, and then over time it just kind of falls off. Liquid Band-Aids are a very interesting invention out there. I've actually got some. I actually got a bottle of it upstairs. It works. It stings, but it works. Gets the job done. But yeah. For surgery, it'll definitely be like a ball of cotton or a ball of because I had a hernia surgery down here, double hernia, and it was like a giant wad of stuff, and then they taped it down. Medical taped it down. So let me see here. Game of the year without any Nintendo, then nobody wins. Sure. Let's see here. Open world Pokemon? Sure. I've always wanted an open world Pokemon game. Do you think PlayStation 5 or Xbox One will be the market leader next gen? PlayStation 5 probably. I think Xbox is going to try to become the market leader in game streaming though. But PlayStation 5 I think is probably still going to have a bigger audience than Xbox. But we'll see. We don't know anything about either of the next systems coming from Xbox or Sony. It's really hard to make a determination now because you're basically basing it on what's popular now. We don't know what's coming next gen yet. So, besides the fact that Microsoft is bringing a game streaming platform next year. Let's see here. Are you getting Smash day of release? Probably, pending the sale of the minivan on Friday. If that sells, then yes. If not, then probably not until I get paid, which is, I think my next payday is the 15th, something like that. But it should go through on Friday, and I should be getting a day of release. I was like 10 at the time, and they just stuffed cotton balls in my cheek to isolate my tongue and get it all the way to the drill, and then they just went to town. I wasn't given an option. Yeah, and you're 10. So the option is for your parents to speak up. That's rough. Liquid Band-Aids? You mean Flex Tape? Flex Seal? No, it's not like that. If you ever go to like First Aid at like a Walgreens or something, you'll see a little thing of Liquid Band-Aid. It's nice to have in a pinch, especially when you have like a cut where you're having a hard time keeping the Band-Aid on, like on fingers or toes. Sometimes it's hard to keep the Band-Aid on. So like it's nice to have the Liquid Band-Aid for situations when you just need it to stop now because you got to go back to work or you got to do something. Still a pain in the butt. Doesn't feel that great, and it gives you like that weird, like super glue kind of feeling on your fingers, and it just feels. But gets the job done. So, when do you think we'll have a single console to do it all? Switch form factor, super powerful, all the media stuff. while getting all the games. Never. It's never going to happen. If you look at the Switch form factor, you can't mix Switch form factor with super powerful, because it'll always be more powerful to have a standalone box than it will be mobile technology. Mobile technology can only approximate what non-mobile technology is doing, and that approximation is always less than comparable standalone technology. So it'll never happen, ever. Never. Not unless there's game consoles go away and we're just gaming on phones. If we're just gaming on phones, sure. But in terms of traditional game consoles, never. What you want will never happen. Let's see here. So why you hate fanboyism? Yeah, fanboyism sucks. Fanboyism is such a... I've got multiple videos up on this channel about how much I detest fanboyism. It's funny, too, because people call me a fanboy, and it's just like, yeah, okay. I mean, you're just not seeing enough of my videos. You just see how much I blast Nintendo. But, let me see here. My boy! What's up, The Beast 34? I don't know if I've ever seen you before. Welcome to the stream, man. With streaming, it could happen. Well, streaming is a totally different beast. Yeah, of course, if streaming, it could happen, but why not then just stream on your phone? You could play the same damn game. Just hook up a Bluetooth controller. You wouldn't need it to be a Switch to do that. And then here's the thing, I want game streaming on Switch. It's just, that doesn't meet his specifications. That's like circumventing the issue of power. Let me see. What about the current 2018 Ultra 4K textures, 60 FPS, and HDR, and all that on a Switch in 10 years? I mean, in 10 years, sure. But I'm hoping, my hope, gaming-wise, is that 4K is the final resolution that we're worrying about, right? Yes, there's 8K, 16K, resolution's higher than that. But I think 4K might finally be the, hey, no one's really going to notice with their eyeballs, much better than this for anything other than color grading. So we should stick with 4K for a long time and focus on getting above 60 FPS, because on PC it makes such a difference when we're doing like 4K, or 1440p, 144 hertz. Like, it makes such a difference. And I really want gaming on consoles to get to that, too. Now, this is going to be on TV manufacturers as well. TV manufacturers have to give you TVs that go past 60 hertz. But they can. They can, and they have. There are 1080p ones out there that go up to 120. So they can do it. 4K is a little different because there really isn't the tech to push things out to 120 FPS or 144. But, yeah, I honestly want to get to a future where we've now topped out at the resolution. Let's focus on frame rate. Getting that frame rate better. And focusing on other kinds of improvements in the game other than, hey, just upping the resolution. Let's see here. I bought my Amber's daughter a doll for $90 on Amazon. I promised I would give her a good Christmas. I want her to start liking it more. She wanted her daughter to have it. I bought your Amber's daughter. I'm guessing that's your girlfriend? A doll for $90. I promised I would give her a good Christmas. I want to get her to start liking it more. She wanted her daughter. Oh, cool. That's pretty cool, man. That's great. That's really great. In 10 years, I'll be at 64K. In 10 years, I hope I'm at 100K on my channel. Man, if I don't get there in 10 years, then I'm probably never getting there. Would it make sense to expect a new Blaster Master game come to the Switch since they updated the original for... Or was the update made for the 3DS? I don't know. I don't know enough about Blaster Master to talk about it. What are the chances of Nintendo and NVIDIA using NVLink to make a dock to upgrade the gaming experience? Possible, but I'd say like less than a 15% chance, Ted. Good question, though. NVIDIA's got some really cool tech going on. I just don't know how much of that tech Nintendo themselves is actually interested in touching. Because all that technology makes everything more expensive, and Nintendo's all about making their things affordable. Switch at 300 is already a tough sell for some consumers. So, like, having separate docks that are just as expensive, and, like, I just don't know. Nintendo's ready to go that route anytime soon. Now this stream is going to be broadcasted on a TV. Not exactly a girlfriend, more than a friend. It's one of those things you cannot explain. I won't get into it then. That's between you and this girl. So not your girlfriend, but kind of your girlfriend, because it's not just a friendship. Anyways, maybe it's a sister thing. I don't know. Beats me. Your life, man. Do what you want to do. Will they release Mario Party on the Switch? They did. Oh, another Mario Party. Probably. I don't think it'll be next year, though. I think they're going to go away from it being a yearly thing. There might be another Mario Party, yeah. Give it like 2 years, 3 years. What do you think is more likely to be revealed than announced at the Game Awards? Pikmin 4, an open world Donkey Kong game. That ain't happening. I can tell you right now. Get the idea of an open world Donkey Kong game out of your mind. It's not happening. Yeah. Sorry, Donkey Kong 64. Reveal the first Smash DLC. Nintendo Switch. Not happening. Nintendo, for all the flack we give them, they're not that stupid. They would not unveil Nintendogs at the Game Awards. Ever. Or Mario Striker Switch. The most likely to be revealed out of that batch is probably the Smash DLC. I mean, Pikmin 4. Again, I don't think it's the right place to unveil Pikmin 4, though. So, like, the Smash DLC is the only thing on that list that even makes sense to me. So, I mean, Eric's got a bet riding on Pikmin 4, so who knows? Maybe Pikmin 4 does show up and he kicks my butt. I would Nintendogs at the Game Awards. The thing is, I like Nintendogs. It's just like, it's not the crowd. Like, they need to convince some of that 11 million audience to buy Switch. They're not going to do it with Nintendogs. Let's see here. I'm not going to lie. I kind of used to be a Nintendo fanboy, but I'm loving my Xbox One X. Dude, the Xbox One X is great. Especially for third-party games. It's awesome. It's the best way to play third-party games on TVs without using a PC. Like, it's amazing. So, nothing wrong with you enjoying the X, man. I'm jealous. I wish I had one. Just not in the budget currently. Although I am planning when PlayStation 5 and whenever the next Xbox comes out, I am planning on picking up those ones at launch. And who knows? Maybe at that time I'll decide to maybe expand a little bit of the content I do at the channel. Still be like 99%, Nintendo, but maybe like once or twice a week have videos on the other systems because I have them. And it'd be nice to maybe do little features on them. Who knows? Maybe it'll be maybe it'll be at my second channel. Maybe I'll finally start making content for that. Who knows? I'll figure it out. I got years before I need to worry about it. So, because I don't think PlayStation 5 is supposed to come till 2020. I don't know, man. There's a lot of Pokemon Go-like fans out there that remember Nintendogs. Could be somewhat viable, but highly unlikely. My question isn't that if Nintendogs can be a viable product. It's that we're talking about it in context of the Game Awards. The Game Awards, who the only people watching it are some of the most hardcore of hardcore video game fans. They're not going to care about Nintendogs. They're just not. They're not going to care about it. It was a stretch for Nintendo to advertise Nintendo Labo with the WWE. That was a stretch. Nintendogs is not a good fit at the Game Awards. Next to the Red Deads and the Call of Duty, not a good fit. It's just not. They need to show their more epic gamer franchises. The Zeldas, the Metroids, the Bayonettas. Even a new Xenoblade. Something like that. Something that actually hits on that audience. If they want to convince any of that audience to pick up a Switch in 2019. Let's see here. Brandon Renshaw. Let me just get Twitch back up. Nope, still nothing going on Twitch. Damn it, Twitch. Let's see here. Brendan Renshaw says, what tier level of game are you expecting to be revealed at the Game Awards? Breath of the Wild was revealed at the Game Awards. Actually, Breath of the Wild was not revealed at the Game Awards. That never happened. Breath of the Wild was unveiled at 2014 E3. The first ever gameplay, like actual gameplay that we could verify, was at the Game Awards in 2014. So, just want to be perfectly clear on that. Breath of the Wild was not unveiled at the Game Awards. It was unveiled at E3, and then later that year at the Game Awards, they showed off the first gameplay. Now, they claim the unveiling of it was gameplay, but, I mean, it's not. Like, that entire thing isn't even in the final game. But, anyways. So, what tier level? What tier level, like, what? I'm not even sure what that means, Brendan. What's a tier? What's tier level? I already told you, I only expect Bayonetta 3. So, whatever tier you put that at, that's what I expect. Bayonetta 3 was revealed last year, but if we're talking about the appropriate crowd, then I imagine a Metroid Prime 4 trailer would be more likely. Yeah, Metroid Prime 4 would be way more likely than Pikmin 4. That's for sure. Metroid Prime could hit on that crowd pretty good. There'll be some Metroid fans in the crowd, both in the live audience and in the viewing audience. And anyone who's not a Metroid fan might look at it, Metroid Prime 4, and be like, oh, man, that actually looks really good. So, depends on what they're doing with it. If it's all motion controls, then it's a terrible crowd to show it at. I'm not saying the motion control aiming and stuff shouldn't be in the game, but, like, don't show it off there with that. Too controversial among that crowd. It's probably controversial among Nintendo fans, to be honest. Odds on another big game making a release date by end of March, like Fire Emblem or Yoshi, pretty good. I mean, right now, there's only, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe? I'm sure one of their new games is going to land before the end of March. I think it's going to be Fire Emblem. It could be Yoshi. It's either one of those games are going to land. Maybe both. It'd be crazy if they both land before the end of March. Rigo Romero says, has it been easier to make your videos after the Nintendo Creators Program was shut down? Define easier. The thing is, I've been making my videos a certain way for so long that it's like second nature to not, most of the gameplay footage I have recorded that I can even use right now because I don't have a working capture card, doesn't have cutscenes in it because I already took care of all that. And I mute the audio anyways, and I guess the only thing I've done this past week is I used the Smash Bros. Trailers a couple times in some videos in the background behind some quotes. But I probably would have got away with that before. I was just too scared to try it. So, because I blur it out. I put a Gaussian blur on it and like do 75% blur or something. I think, I don't know. I mean, it's not really, it's easier because I don't have to edit things out, I guess. I don't, if, as an example, in Breath of the Wild, whenever you would enter a shrine, right, and they would have that animation where it walks you in, and then you go down, and then you walk out, that would get you copyright claimed every time. So I would always edit out like that little 3 seconds. Now I don't have to edit it out anymore, so that technically makes things easier, but I don't know. I don't really think about it that much. I don't have a lot of footage that's like that. I can now use Mario Kart 8 footage as an example. Couldn't use that before, but I haven't had a reason to use Mario Kart 8 footage, so I haven't been using it. I think it's more so future things it's going to really, really help with. Like when I start doing, lists, like top 10s or top 5s. Now I can do like actual lists and show actual footage of what's going on because, now I will be able to not be scared about what I'm showing, getting things claimed. Like if I want to put Mario Kart 8, say I want to do top 5 Switch games right now and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe makes the list, well, now I can actually show footage of it, not just still images. So it can actually feel like it has equal treatment to the rest of the games on the list. So it's going to make future videos a little easier for me to do, but right now, on my current videos, voiceover gameplay or, Prime News or whatever, when I do show footage, like I think in today's Prime News, there was some Starlink footage and Pokemon Let's Go, just because I don't have any Pokemon Go footage recorded. Yeah, it ended up working out just fine, but I've been so used to working around it that I don't really have... It's just going to be in the future. Game reviews are going to be really great to do now. That's one big thing that was always held back because they would always, you couldn't play any audio, but now you can play audio, so it's going to be nice. Retro Cheat says, what retro games do you love, and do you like cheating in games? Hopefully not online. I don't cheat in games online. And do I like cheating in games? Usually not. I mean, I don't mind cheat codes and stuff. I just never been a big fan of using them. I played around with some of like the big heads and the paintball mode and stuff like that back in GoldenEye, but I just never been that big into cheating in games, single player or otherwise. What retro games do I love? I mean, I love a lot of retro games, but I wouldn't call myself a retro gamer because I don't really go back and play the games. I just don't care to. I usually don't have an interest in playing games I've already beaten 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 times. Smash 6 confirmed to have 1 character. Joy-Con Nation says, I don't like what Epic Games is doing with Fortnite on the Switch. They're trying to add 60 FPS on cell phones before they even attempt it for Switch. They treat it as a secondary system. Well, what you have to remember... feels weird saying this. You see this? This is a Samsung Galaxy Note 9. The CPU that's in this is more powerful than the CPU in the Switch. I'm not saying that means that this is a better overall gaming platform than Switch. Not at all what I'm saying. Way the hell more capable of hitting 60 FPS in Fortnite and PUBG than the Switch is. So like we could talk about how they're treating the Switch like the secondary platform. They had a hard time keeping it stable 30 and it's still not stable 30 on Switch. Why is that? Because there's a CPU bottleneck. Those ARM 57s, old technology, man. They're not that good. So we could talk all day about how, they're treating it like a secondary system because they're bringing 60 FPS to phones. It's because phones are more capable of hitting 60 FPS than the Switch. The Switch has limitations. It has limitations built into it. It's just easier for them to do it on phones than Switch. It's not even stable 30 on Switch. I can tell you that right now. I just played Fortnite a few days back. I was still getting lag. There's not even a stable 30 in Fortnite on Switch. And we're going to talk about 60 on Switch? I don't think Switch can do it. Not without basically cranking the how far you can view, way down. And that would not be good. Fortnite already sometimes has lots of pop-ins, so it doesn't need more. I think it's going to be stuck at 30 on the current Switch. Now, a Switch Pro? Sure. So a Switch Pro could maybe hit 60, but that's assuming they upgrade the CPU. Let me see here. If they do show a Metroid Prime 4 trailer, I hope they announce a game bundle of Metroid Prime 1, 2, 3. Like how they have given us Bayonetta 1 and 2. Well, the thing... I know a lot of people want a Metroid Prime trilogy. But you have to remember with Bayonetta 1 and 2, it already existed in HD on Wii U. It's just a port. It wasn't like they gave you Bayonetta 1 and 2, because Bayonetta 3 is coming. It was just a convenient announcement with Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 1 and 2 were on Wii U. Like every other Wii U game, they're very simple to port to Switch. They would have been on Switch even without Bayonetta 3, is what I'm saying. Metroid Prime Trilogy is different. None of those games are in HD. They've never been put in HD. It's a lot more work to put those games in HD. Can they do it? Of course they can. They did it with some Zelda games. But until Nintendo proves it, they don't really do it outside of Zelda games. So, I'm hoping they do it, but I definitely am not counting on it, because Nintendo has not given me a reason to actually believe they're going to do that. So, the only belief I see are people just wanting it to happen. Unfortunately, just wanting things to happen doesn't make it so. What if Ponyo came to Switch? Don't even know what that is, Sonic. Let's see here. You bought Nintendo Online, and why you don't like retro? Because I can't play Splatoon 2 or Mario Kart 8 online without it? I mean, you understand when they lock their multiplayer games behind the Nintendo Switch Online, I have to have it to play. So I want to play Mario Tennis Aces online, gotta have it. I want to play Super Mario Party online, gotta have it. Want to play any Nintendo game, period, that has an online mode. Super Smash Bros. Coming up. Want to play it online, have to have Nintendo Switch Online. Has nothing to do with the NES games. Don't care about the NES games. Nintendo Switch Online is just like all the other services on PlayStation and Xbox. If I want to play their games multiplayer, you have to buy it. It's a forced purchase. The alternative is I could choose not to pay it and just choose not to play online on those games. But then I'm depriving myself of fun. And for me, the hassle of the $20 fee per year is plenty worth it for the fun I'm going to get back. I hate it, but it's the way the world works, man. I mean, I'm halfway surprised that Steam hasn't found a way to charge you to launch a freaking game or something. I'm sure they will someday. Valve, don't listen to me. You don't need any more ideas on ways to get more money out of people. You have enough issues going on. Let's see here. Oh, cloud saves too, of course. Can't forget the cloud saves. Cloud saves are our big thing that I like to have. Although I might be getting a new Switch soon. You heard it here first. Might be getting a new Switch. More on that later. Well, unless, I guess someone can ask about it. I'll explain it, I guess. It's not really that big a deal on why I might be getting one. And no, my Switch works. Nothing wrong with that I'm aware of anyways. Let's see here. If it makes more sense, Amber and I may go into a relationship. I mean, you have a relationship already. It's just not what you would call official boyfriend-girlfriend stuff. I won't get into the details, but let's just say stuff has been going on. I want to be a good friend to her and have been. I just hope you're not getting used and abused. That's all. I don't know anything about the relationship, but I've been in relationships where I thought it was like that, and I was, being nice and everything, and nothing ever transpired. Now I don't even talk to those people anymore. So I just hope that's not the case on your end. And you're gonna deny and say it's not that case until it actually happens. So that's just the way it goes when you're in those situations. So for your well-being, I hope everything goes well and works out for you. $2 super chat, Matthew Campos. I wanted the Diablo 3 edition Switch too. There's so many different Switches I want, man. Oh my god, you have no idea. All right, let me spin that wheel. Let's see if the wheel spin's even working today. Let me turn my volume up here. Is the wheel spin working today? I did not test the wheel spin. I just assumed it was going to work. But, Oh, yeah, it's working. What do we got? What do we got for that $2? We got shots. We're taking the shot, baby. All right. I should probably really clean this shot glass. I have clean ones, too. They're just upstairs. That's another thing, part of cleaning my office is I have a shelf out in the old man cave behind the bar. There's actually a bar in that man cave. It's now a children's playroom that I should probably take out of there, remove it, and install it in here. It's a shot glass shelf. Keep all my shot glasses down here. Anyways, I got the Missile Command Atari shot glass here. This was something I got for free from GameStop at one point. I got a whole Atari collection. You mean the bottle of vodka? Vodka. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. All right. Cheers, Matthew. Not taste good. That apple is not a good apple. All right. So I think Nintendo Switch is less powerful than a phone, so Nintendo can pocket more money for consoles sold. I believe Sony and Microsoft and Xbox sold at a loss. No. For starters, when Nintendo Switch came out, it wasn't necessarily less powerful. And even today, for gaming purposes, it's still more powerful than most phones overall for gaming-specific applications. But there are things that phones have advantages of, especially the latest and greatest phones have better CPUs and stuff like that. So I don't think that it's less powerful than a phone so they can pocket more money. I think they worked with NVIDIA and they used off-the-shelf Tegra X1 2015 technology. You got to remember, when the PlayStation 5 comes out, it's not using current technology, probably even from that year. It's going to be using technology from 2-3 years ago. That's what happens with video game consoles. They aren't using the most up-to-date technology. They're always using older technology. So yeah, in 2017, Switch launched with 2015 tech. Guess what? When PlayStation 4 launched, it launched, you know what, in 2000 and, what was that, 2013? It launched with 2010 tech. That's what happens with video game consoles. So Switch literally just launched with the same sort of technology that any other system would have launched with. So I'm not really seeing a correlation there, to be honest. But the Switch is a dedicated gaming console. I don't think a phone would be running Zelda. Most of you guys' phones won't. But the latest and greatest phones, the latest and greatest tablets, if they tried converting it, yeah, it probably could run. Gotta remember, like, for any of you that are like, oh, BS, the Switch is mobile technology. The Switch is literally using the kind of technology you have in your phones. Like, this is something we have to wrap our minds around with Switch. It is not using traditional home console technology. It is using the same crap that's in our phones. It is, for all intents and purposes, a phone with controllers. It's literally a tablet. So, gotta remember that about Switch. It is using the same sort of technology our phones use. Just letting you know. Dedicated gaming console or not, doesn't matter. Especially with Android. Because guess what? The OS it's using is using the Android kernel. It's basically a customized version of Android as it is. At least at the very base core. There's some other stuff built on top, some 3DS stuff, but whatever. It basically all originated from the Android kernel. So, just letting you know, some fun facts about Switch. It's using essentially phone technology. And not all phones are expensive, by the way. You can get phones that are probably almost as powerful as the Switch, to be honest, for like $300, $400. You know, they're out there. It's the big flagships, these Samsungs and the iPhones that cost so much damn money. There's plenty of phones that almost have the exact same specs that are way cheaper because they're not big brand names. Let's see here. What controller do you plan on playing Smash Ultimate with? PowerA controller, baby. Probably a Pro controller eventually. I sold my Pro controller. The grinding issue on the left stick got so bad that it was going to need to be replaced. So instead of replacing it, I just sold the damn thing. Because you know what? I want a newer one that has the D-pad fixed. So I'm going to get a new Pro controller eventually. Probably not before, probably not until sometime next year. Who knows? Maybe I'll wait for a really cool version of it based on a game that I really, really want. I think the Xenoblade one's cool. I know there's a Smash Bros. One, so maybe I'll end up picking up the Smash Bros. Pro controller someday. But we'll see. But for now, PowerA controller, baby. Do you think having an Xbox gaming streaming app on the Switch would be a good selling point for both companies? I think whatever they do with streaming, Microsoft's going to try to get it on everything. So, I mean, it's not going to hurt Nintendo. And it's not going to hurt Microsoft. But, that's such a hypothetical on something we don't really have any information on. Let me see here. Retro Cheat says, when you started your YouTube channel, did you have a fan base from the start? I mean, no one has a fan base from the start when you start on YouTube. I mean, nobody has a fan base at the when you first start out. Let's see here. Your Smash Bros. Justin Caldero's Smash Bros. Hype is like well over 9,000. Matthew Campos took over a Stream Boss, I think, too, with that super chat. Nice, man. Let's see here. If you had to pick between Diablo 3 and Skyrim, which would you pick? Well, Diablo 3 because I already own Skyrim on Switch or on PC. Sorry. I already own Skyrim on PC, so I would pick Diablo 3. But if you're talking about, like, if I could only have one or the other, period, no matter what the platform, that's tough. I haven't played Diablo 3 yet, so I can't. By default, I'd say Skyrim just because I know how good it is, because I played it. But I played Diablo 1 and 2, and they were really good, too, so that's tough. Because I, again, haven't played Diablo 3. Well, correction. I played, like, a couple minutes of it on someone else's Switch. But I haven't played enough of it where I could be like, oh, man, I really get a feel for what this game is all about. Let's see here. Justin Caldero. By the way, don't at Nate me. It's at Nintendo Prime. Nate's not going to ping me. Who do you plan on maining in Ultimate? Trying out any new fighters. Inklings. I'm trying out all the fighters. So, let's just get that out of the way right now. All the fighters will be tried out. But, I mean, my mains have always been Pikachu and Toon Link. So, I'm going to try to hopefully main Inklings, but who knows. The thing is, like, saying I have a main is like saying I actually am good at Smash Bros. I'm not. You're just as, like, I could play Pikachu, and you're just as likely to kick my ass as if I played a character like, say, Simon Belmont that I've never played before. You're probably still going to kick my ass. So, doesn't really matter. I just play the characters that I like. Don't really care about the movesets. I just like the characters. Let me see. Humanopoly says, how do you fix button sticking on the Pro Controller? Mine have been doing it for a while now, but I've ignored it. But with Smash coming, I don't think I can ignore it. So is it like one of those, like, is it like the sticky button problem? You know, where, like, you push down and it kind of, like, sticks for a moment. And then, like, slowly comes back up. Or sometimes just stays down for a little bit if you push it too hard. If that's the case, I mean, your controller needs to be cleaned. I mean, taking the controller apart and actually properly cleaning it with isopropyl alcohol is obviously the best thing you could do. Otherwise, if you don't want to take it apart because you're not comfortable, voids the warranty, you can kind of like take isopropyl alcohol, make sure that the controller's dead. With your Pro Controller, like, make sure you run it till it's dead. It won't hurt anything. Isopropyl alcohol is not conductive, so it shouldn't hurt anything. That's why we use it on, you know, you can use it to clean a lot of electronic parts because it's not conductive. But what you can do then is you can just kind of like rub it all over on the button, and then just like keep pressing it down, and just keep putting more and more and more and more and more till it stops sticking. Again, that's a temporary solution. It's possible once it all dries up, it starts to stick some more. The best thing to do is to take apart the controller and actually physically take a Q-tip with isopropyl alcohol and clean it proper. And that's, I mean, the same thing's like true with keyboards and stuff too. Like if keyboards start to stick, take it apart, clean them. So, you know, soapy water with the keys and then isopropyl alcohol on the actual board. I mean, this keyboard here is actually, the one I'm using is really gross. The keys themselves, I think, are mostly fine. But, like, underneath, it's just dirt and dust everywhere. And what I should be doing is removing all the keycaps, taking isopropyl alcohol with a Q-tip, and going around and just cleaning all of it. But I know it's a lot of work. It's something I've done several times before. It's just a lot of work, and then if I'm ever in my office, I'm basically down here to work. I don't have time to, like, screw around with this crap. So I'll eventually clean this keyboard because it's a Corsair K70. It's a really nice keyboard. And I don't, you know, cleaning it also helps increase the longevity of it as well. So eventually I'll get around to cleaning it. I just don't know. Like, it's just filthy. I don't even know if I can show you guys, like, how, I don't even know if it shows up on camera, how, like, filthy it is. Because, like, the keycaps on the top will be all nice and fine, but there's a bunch of crap. I don't know if you can even see it. There's a whole bunch of crap. Now you can kind of see some stuff there, like up in here. Just a bunch of crap and dust and dirt. And yes, I've tried blowing it with an air can, but a lot of the stuff is just kind of like, doesn't really go anywhere, even when you hit it with an air can. So it just needs to be properly cleaned. Eventually, someday under the rainbow. We're not game developers. Don't know what the hell we're talking about. Why are Nintendo consoles less powerful if they use the same tech then? Nintendo has to be pocketing more money. This includes the Wii and Wii U. Why are Nintendo consoles less powerful if they use the same tech? Because It's not the exact same tech. Okay? As an example, a lot of our phones are using A72 CPUs. Better CPUs than the A57s. Okay? So it's not the same tech. It's 2015 tech. Gotta remember, what did I say? The most modern of modern phones is in many regards more powerful than a Switch. But the Switch is using technology from 2015. In 2015, Switch's technology was untouchable, especially at the GPU level. Untouchable. But that was in 2015. It's not 2015 anymore. We're almost to 2019. Mobile technology is moving like that. So in 2015, Switch was the top of the line for gaming purposes you could find. It ain't 2015. So our phones aren't using like the 2015 tech anymore. They're using 2017, 2018 tech, 2019 next year. So it's not the same technology in terms of that. It's older. It's older generations of stuff. It's an older generation of hardware. NVIDIA has newer CPUs out for their mobile platforms even. They don't use it in Switch. More expensive. Nintendo doesn't use them because more expensive. Why do we have 2015 tech in a 2017 device? Cost. It's a lot cheaper. If they used 2017 tech in 2017, the Switch would have cost $800. It's all about cost. The Wii and Wii U, I mean, here's the thing. Nintendo always wants a profit on their systems. So yeah, of course they made profits on Wii and Wii U too. But Wii and Wii U wasn't using mobile technology. So Wii was basically using a slightly overclocked GameCube chipset. And then Wii U used a different chipset altogether. Even different than now, even different than Wii. But then Wii U also like literally put a Wii chip on the board. So Wii U really wasn't that profitable. I mean, it was profitable, but Switch is way more profitable today than Wii U was during its life. You have a Galaxy S8. I used to have an S8. Well, no, I had an S8 Plus. Whatever. Same gen. But the graphics aren't as good. Here's the thing. The graphics aren't as good sentiment has to come from comparable games, right? So what I can tell you, Fortnite on this phone versus Fortnite on the Switch, Fortnite looks better on this phone. Not just because of the screen tech. Now granted, this is newer than yours. This is a Note 9, okay? Latest and greatest Samsung device. Or maybe there's a newer device now, who knows? I can't keep up with tech as much as I want to. But Fortnite just looks better on here. It just does. It looks better on my phone than it does on the Switch. Higher resolution. More stable frame rate. Hardly get any lag at all. Granted, the controls are crap, and I hate playing the game on my phone. But it's a better resolution with like a locked, stable 30 FPS. That's way the hell better. Like there's almost no pop-in. There's almost zero pop-in. You know, like sometimes you land in Fortnite on Switch and you'll be like trying to run into a building, but you can't because the textures haven't loaded in yet. That doesn't happen on my phone. So all you can look at is comparable games. You can't look at like, oh well, I don't play any games on my phone that are better looking than games on the Switch. Of course you don't. Most phone games don't need to be that good looking to be successful on the platform. You know, phones aren't about pushing the bleeding edge of video games, you know. But there are some very, very good looking phone games. There are a lot of phone games that are well beyond anything we've seen on Switch yet. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them out there. Just you don't hear about them because they're not super like popular and successful. They're basically benchmark games. Is what it's kind of like what Crysis used to be on PC all the time, right? Like, oh, can you run Crysis? That was like the benchmark for a good PC back in the day. That's kind of what these things are. Like, oh, they benchmark your phones, basically. Let me see here. I have a Galaxy. Oh, I already read that. Let me scroll down here. Hey, Kevin Delgado, I see you up there. Let's see here. Let's see here. Isaiah Yates, hey, just because I'm getting my hopes up as much as possible for some stupid reason, do you think we'll see any Metroid at the Game Awards tomorrow? The Game Awards, Thursday. I'm only expecting Bayonetta 3. Anything else would be a surprise to me. So no, I'm not expecting it. Would I be shocked? No, but I'm not expecting it. Humanopoly says, yeah, the A button, that takes a moment to come back up once it's pressed. Yeah, something got, some sort of gunk. Could have been, soda. Could have been anything, really. Something maybe got spilled on it. Maybe something came off your fingers. Maybe somebody else who touched it. There's a lot of things that can go. But yeah, you got to take it apart and clean it. As I said, you could do the isopropyl alcohol and the up and down on it when it's fully discharged, and then flip it like this, and just put some paper towel under it and just wait like a day or two. As I said, you're not going to kill it by turning it on if there's isopropyl alcohol in there. It's a non-conductive, but it's good to try to get it as dry as you can before you start it, just as a general policy with electronics. But you should still be able to. I mean, you can use it right away if you want to. But again, even when you do that, it's not a guarantee that it's going to stay that way once it dries. The only guaranteed way is to literally take your controller apart and then go to the button area and literally give it a go. You'll see it. You'll literally be able to see the gunk up. It could be on the faceplate itself. It might just be on the bottom part of the button. It could be on the board itself, like the actual button that depresses down. That could be broken. Doubtful that's broken, though. Usually, if it comes back up, that's not broken. It's the button itself just sticking from being gunked up. It happens. I've had it happen to controllers over the years when I was growing up, too, and had to take them apart and clean them. It's more of a hassle than actually being difficult to do. You know any easy ways to clean all the gunk on the inside of a control sticks for a controller? Do you mean like the grind, or do you, I mean, there's the easy way, and then there's the right way. The right way, take the damn faceplate off your it's such an easy clean. Okay, all you have to do is undo. On this one's really easy because this one is what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws. So on this one you just pop all 8 screws off. And then literally the faceplate will lift off, and oh look, there's my control stick, there's my control stick. You can literally take the control stick off its little thing and wash it, and then put it back in, pop the faceplate back on, put the screws back on. That's what you should be doing. But obviously you can take your isopropyl alcohol, the Q-tip and stuff, pull the stick, clean, pull it, clean, pull it, clean, and then just kind of lube it up with that, and go around and around and around. Also, you can if you want to, you can Vaseline it to get some of the smoothness back. It's just going to cause more gunking up later, but it works, as any lubricant would. And Vaseline is non-conductive. You can literally, I can literally with my computer running right now, take off the side panel and literally just start lambasting Vaseline all over the motherboard. Nothing's going to happen. It's totally non-conductive. But so those are just some things you can do, but. Again, I always suggest just take it apart and do it right. You'll be thanking yourself later. And plus, even when you do that, you might have to clean it more often. And just do it the right way. It's so easy to clean sticks. Taking the faceplate off is so easy. Obviously, if it's a Pro controller, the only problem with the Pro controller is you do need a tri-wing screwdriver. If you don't have one, then yeah, just pull it sideways. Wipe it as best you can with a Q-tip and isopropyl alcohol. It's really all you need for any of that stuff. Let's see here. I'm good with my iPhone 6. It's slower, but I'm not spending several $100s to upgrade. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. I don't think a lot of people would be upgrading their phones if they weren't getting free upgrades. A lot of companies hand out free upgrades just for redoing your contract and blah blah blah. What's the best local food near you? What would you recommend if someone came to my town? If we're staying in town, I would recommend Casa Mexicana. Very, very good Mexican restaurant. If you want a good steak, probably the restaurant open my house. Connell's Supper Club has a really good steak. there's not a lot of big restaurants in my area. I mean, you want to feel like you're in a fancy place, you go to God, I already forgot what it's called. High Waters? I can't remember what it's called, but the food's really not that great. You want a good fish fry? We have Rosina's. It kind of depends on what we're in the mood for. Yeah, if you want pizza, Jim Bob's Pizza is probably the best in the area. We always have that mall teriyaki chicken that's just freaking phenomenal. If we were going to go out to Eau Claire. Now, if we're going to Eau Claire, 20, 25-minute drive away, that's different. There's a whole lot of places in Eau Claire to eat. Whole lot of places. B-Dubs and Olive Garden and Panera Bread. There's more places than I even am aware of, if I'm being completely honest. So I'd have to do more research, or try to remember places I've ate at. But just in town, Casa Mexicana is always, if you like Mexican, excellent place. Good food. Let's see here. Then we need a new Switch every year. I guess they could sell different models. What costs money would be different if Nintendo was selling 100 million Switches a year. That probably won't happen. We don't need a new Switch every year. Why do you think we need a new Switch every year? Because mobile technology is always advancing? Who says Nintendo Switch has to be more powerful than this? Dude, this is a $1,000 device. $1,000. Who says we need a new Switch just to compete with this? Guess what? If they released a new Switch this year, it still won't compete with this because Nintendo's not releasing a $1,000 device. So no, we don't need a new one every year. I think every 3 or 4 years, sure. But all you're going to be getting is technology from 3 years prior. So it's always going to be behind. And that's fine because it's affordable. It's affordable. Switch is affordable. They're not going to give up affordability to have a powerful system. It's not going to happen. They're not going to sell you a $1,000 Nintendo Switch. It's just not going to ever happen. That's why I said earlier, you'll never see a Switch that is super powerful that gets everything. Because Nintendo's never going to sell you a $1,000 device. It's not going to happen. What is Nintendo, why is the Nintendo less powerful than Sony and Xbox if they use the same tech? They don't use the same tech. I told you that Nintendo Switch is using the same tech as a phone. It is using mobile technology. Okay? Sony and Xbox are using basically laptop/desktop grade GPUs and CPUs. Particularly from AMD. That's what they're using. More of the laptop range than desktops. But that's what they're using. And because of the advancements happening with Ryzen right now, like if PlayStation 5 has any sort of Ryzen chip in it, forget about it. Like, just forget about it. The Switch is never going to touch it. Like, we're so far away from Ryzen level of performance and core count on a phone, on any mobile technology, that it's just a joke. So, yeah, they're not using the same tech. They're just not. Similar architectures. Switch is not using x86, but it's using an architecture that's compatible with x86. Does that make sense? Just like this phone. This phone is an x86, but it's using an architecture that's compatible with PC hardware. So what that means is it's easier to port games from PC to phones and phones to PCs. So the same is kind of true with Xbox and PlayStation, but it's a little different because of how they have their resources allocated compared to Switch. And Virtuous actually did an update today. I put it in my Prime News, giving tips on how to best take advantage of Switch when you're porting games, because there is some key differences that you have to keep in mind while you're porting. Let's see here. Analysts say the Switch will be cheaper next year, so wait. They want it under $200. Are they crazy? It won't be under $200. I could see them selling a dockless version of the Switch next year for $200. Release your upgraded version for $300 with the dock. Take the current version with a dock, drop it down to $250, and then take the dock out and then sell it for $200. Now you're hitting the 3 price ranges. If people want a dock included, they can get it cheaper by getting the $250 bundle, or they can get the $300 one that's got the better version of the Switch in it, or for $200 that just gets you the Switch with the Joy-Cons and the charger cord. That's what I think they're going to do at some point next year. That is if a Switch Pro comes out. If a Switch Pro doesn't come out, forget about it. Switch ain't going anywhere. It's going to be $300 next holiday too. I thought the Wii U was sold at a loss to Nintendo originally because originally it was not sold at a loss. I don't think they ever sold Wii U at a loss. 3DS was sold at a profit, and then because it was tanking so bad, the price cut they gave it made the 3DS sell for a loss for about a year and a half. That's the only system they have technically sold at a loss for any length of period more than a month. Let's see here. Let's see here. Rockstar said they'll be putting select games on Switch, so there may be another one if they stick to the plan. I mean, there'll probably be another Rockstar game eventually. What that game is beats me, but you know how to clean your joystick, your Joy-Con joystick to stop drifting. Chances are it's not drifting because it's dirty. So, software update. So update the Joy-Cons, recalibrate. Doesn't go away. Send it to Nintendo. That's all I can tell you on that. I've taken apart Joy-Cons. There's nothing in there to fix the drifting. So if you have a drifting issue, you have a defective Joy-Con. That is if a software update and if recalibrating doesn't fix it. If you do both and it's still a problem, you got to send it to Nintendo. Because they're just going to give you a new one that hopefully doesn't have the issue. And because you specifically gave it to them because of the drifting issue, when you get it back, it shouldn't have that issue, at least initially, hopefully. Hopefully they don't just send it back to you and say, we did nothing, sorry. But, what if Nintendo had announced Metroid Prime Trilogy at the Video Game Awards, but it's only in the 3DS? I would be mad. That would be the stupid... I mean, they put Luigi... I said they put Luigi Mansion, but at least there was a reason for that. I don't think there's any logical reason to put Metroid Prime 1, 2, and 3 on 3DS. Even though I think it could run on the new 3DS. Just like Xenoblade could. I just don't think they're going to now. That's not going to happen. Let's see here. It had less power, yet it costed the same as the PlayStation 4. What you have to remember is mobile technology is expensive. Okay, PlayStation 4 came out in 2013. It's basically using 2010 technology. Nintendo Switch came out in 2017 using 2015 technology. The thing is that 2015 technology, however, is less powerful than the desktop-grade components from 2010. Okay? Mobile technology is behind that. But mobile technology is more expensive to manufacture. Has to be taken into consideration. The reason this is $1,000, this doesn't have to be $1,000. This could probably be sold for $700 if it wasn't $300 added on because of brand name, right? Could be sold for $700. But the thing is that's still a lot of money for technology that's well behind what my desktop can do from 4 years ago. Why is that the case? Because they're making these chips smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's way more expensive to do that. So mobile technology is fantastic. It's amazing. It's also expensive. Especially compared to comparably... if you want, what is this, a quad-core I think I have in this? Quad-core CPU? I mean, the level at which the quad-core runs in this, I could spend, $70 right now and get a quad-core CPU from, 4 generations ago for a desktop that runs faster than this one. But it's not mobile. Let's see here. The gunk in the edges of the control sticks that builds up from sweaty thumbs. Okay. You mean like up here? On the top up here? Yeah. Yeah, that can be annoying. What I used to do is take a toothpick. I used to do this with all my controllers, actually. Take a toothpick, and you kind of run it along the edges. In all the little seams. And then I'll even still dip that in isopropyl alcohol just in case there's some sticky stuff. You do that, and then you take that toothpick, and like, you know, put some paper towel, and then go in those edges. You can also do that in like the edges on your controller. This one shouldn't be dirty. I haven't used this one enough, but sometimes like when you're doing this, right in the creases of the controller, gunk can gather up too. So a toothpick's, oh, let's see, there's a little gunk. It's actually, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it. I don't think I have a toothpick. Maybe I could fit this in there. Yeah, one little flake or something. But yeah, that's just what I did. I mean, whatever way works for you. I don't want to use like a lollipop thing because, you know, you're kind of just getting more bacteria on there from the stick, even though it's working to pick up the gunk. Does that make sense? Whereas if you use a toothpick with isopropyl alcohol and then a paper towel, you're actually literally cleaning it. But, you know, whatever method works for you. I remember putting peanut butter on discs back in the day to try to fill in the scratches so you could play your discs still. So, like, you know what? Whatever works for you, man. What made you choose Nintendo consoles over Sony or Xbox? Well, one, Xbox didn't exist when I was a kid. In fact, Sony didn't exist. So what made me choose Nintendo? Well, Sony and Xbox weren't around. Remember, I started on the NES, man. And at the time of NES, there wasn't anything else that was really out there. Super Nintendo, I also played Sega Genesis, played Sega Game Gear, but Sega fizzled out, you know. So, Nintendo just kind of always was there. And I really like Nintendo games now. So, not like I chose them over Sony and Xbox. There wasn't a choice at the time. Yeah, there's choices now, and I still enjoy games and stuff on those systems. I've owned Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, Xbox One. Haven't owned a PlayStation 4 yet. Like, I enjoy games on there, but like, they're not Zelda, they're not Kirby, they're not this, they're not that, you know. They're just kind of a thing. Oh, Sonic Man hits us with a $2 super chat. Let me spin that wheel for you. Second time we spun the wheel tonight. Let's see what happens. Doing 2 sit-ups. You won sit-ups. Alright, let me change those sit-ups there to 2. And let's change the camera. I have to move this. Actually, maybe I can just unmove this. A little portable green screen. Alright. Put this out of the way. Alright. 2 sit-ups. Here we go. 1, 2. Alright. Turn off the workout cam. Alright, there you go. 2 sit-ups, man. Thank you so much for your support. What's your favorite movie? Yours is Spider-Man 3. God. Is that another $2 by Sonic Man? I know you wanted push-ups, but it's all on the wheel. The wheel determines it all. So who knows? Maybe you'll get push-ups this time. There's a 1 in 3 chance. 1 in 3 chance that it'll get push-ups. So here we go. Let's spin it. See what happens. That's sit-ups. More sit-ups. That was close. That was close. Let me change that to 4 sit-ups. Total for the night. Alright. Let's get those 2 sit-ups out of the way quick. All right. Do a backflip. I have a torn meniscus in my right knee. I'm pretty limited in the stuff I can do. So, all right. Well, thank you, Sonic Man, for the $4. I guess you did total super chats. Let's see here. Hey, Kevin Delgado. Let's see here. Isaiah Yates, hey, just because I'm getting my hopes up. Oh, I already read those. Sorry. Trying to see where I was in the chat. There we go. I put in a link in Discord from 2013, and it says that Nintendo did in fact sell the Wii U at a loss back then. Had to look it up because I was really certain they did. Okay, cool. Good to know. Don't really care, but good to know. It's nice to have a little fact correction. So, yeah, that kind of sucks. That means for a brief period they were selling Wii U and 3DS for a loss. I mean, it wasn't much of one, of course. Let's say, one game purchase made it profitable. And the average attach rate on Wii U was like 3 or 4 games. So, like, they were all profitable. Just the hardware itself wasn't at the time. If it was possible to sell... if it was possible to just sell the Switch OS for $150, and you could just build your own system with compatible parts. I mean, you can already take the Switch OS off of the platform through hacking and put it on anything you want. But it won't run Switch games. Some of the stuff is firmware, man. It's not just the OS. There's firmware level stuff on the hardware that you won't be able to just take off. So, it won't work. Apple hasn't been doing very well. They said they won't share sales numbers. Yeah, the recent iPhone release. And my fiance has one of them. They're actually really, really nice. She has the iPhone XS. Really nice phone, by the way. Like, I'll always give this to Apple, regardless of the specs, to the cost, to the Apple premium price. Damn, do the phones just work so well. They're so smooth. But the camera on the XS is great. It might even be better than my camera on my Note 9. But really impressive device. Unfortunately, they're getting kind of iterative. I don't know how impressive it is compared to an iPhone X because we didn't have an iPhone X. Maybe it's nothing compared to that. So, Apple ran into the problem that their products, I think, are becoming too iterative. This is what happens when you have the yearly releases, though. You hit that point where the phones are already so good that just another one with an X, an S, or an R, or a Max on it that isn't really that much better than the prior one isn't something consumers care about, right? The better these phone technology get, the less people need to upgrade. Like, I have a Samsung Galaxy Note 9. I probably won't need to upgrade my phone for 4 or 5 years. If I upgrade at all. So, like, the better phones get, the less people need to upgrade them. Or feel the need to. Quads and newer Androids, yeah. Yeah, there is some quad cores. I believe my Note 9... Let me look up the spec sheet on my Note 9 quick. I keep talking about it. So I might as well look up what the exact specs are. I'm pretty sure there was a quad in my Note 9. It's using the Snapdragon 845. I have the 8 gig RAM version. Look up the... I know that's like latest and greatest of the Snapdragon line. Let's see here. I'm gonna watch look this up. Yeah, like this is the Snapdragon 845 is an octa-core chip. Runs at 2.8 gigahertz on all cores. Although, if I remember right, these octa-core chips, they call it that, but it's really just a quad core with what is it? Multi-threading or whatever, right? So it's just a multi-threaded quad core to hit eight of them, if I remember right. So it's not actually 8 cores, but it comes up as 8 threads. So, well, it's 4 cores, 8 threads. I'm pretty sure this is how the Snapdragon 845 works. So yeah, I you know, but again, $1,000 device. Granted, you can get a again, you can get a Snapdragon 845 and like a $500 device, too. But again, that's $500. Still, it's still more expensive than Switch. Let's see here. Wait, they did have a dockless Switch in Japan. They did, but you could only buy it from Nintendo. Yeah, you could only buy it from Nintendo. But yeah, they do sell a dockless Switch in Japan on Nintendo's website. Let's see here. Joy-Con Nation says every time how come every time a big game like Smash comes out, you have finals, then work 8-hour shift on the weekend, then other stupid crap comes up? Because you have a life. Welcome to having a life. Sucks, don't it? Do a barrel roll. Can Nate fly? No. Breath of the Wild 3D worth it? What do you mean Breath of the Wild 3D? Would you be for Reggie being a character in Smash? Yeah. Dude, he'd be such a meme character. It'd be sick. My body is ready. I can't. The taunts that Reggie could do. What's wrong with you? Oh my god. It'd be hilarious. They'll never do it. But it would be awesome. I never answered your question, Kevin. Scrolling up. What's my favorite? Oh, your favorite movie. Man. See, Hall Pass is always a classic for me. I love Hall Pass for comedy. I don't know why. It's just a stupid movie, but I like it a lot. But I mean, Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade. Love that movie. Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Really love that movie. I mean, I'm a sucker for all the Marvel and Avengers movies too, but like as for movies, I'll actually like rewatch. Those are kind of the 3 that I'll consistently rewatch. I also really like Beer Fest and again, another stupid comedy. But yeah, I don't know. Stuff like that. Retro Cheats? I thought I answered your question. I answered like a couple of your questions. I mean, I see you asking about someone deleting their tweet, but I assumed you weren't talking to me because I didn't delete any tweet. Like literally scrolled up and look at things you said. I answered why is the Nintendo less powerful than Sony and Xbox. I answered that one. So I literally answered your latest question already. I did an entire spiel on that last question you asked. So I answered it, Retro Cheats. You never heard the one about how I found a fan base. You asked a question about that? I saw you ask a question about if I started out with a fan base. And I answered that by saying I've never, like, no one starts out with a fan base. Did you expand upon that and ask how I got a fan base? Like how I've grown as a YouTube channel? Is that what you're trying to ask? I didn't see that question anywhere. Like that particular question. The only one I remember you asking was about, oh, the Goonies. The Goonies is a great movie too. If you want to learn how to grow retro cheats, go look at my Twitter account today, @NintyPrime. I put up a long Twitter chain today talking about how to grow as a YouTube channel. I mean, obviously having high quality content comes first, but it's more than that. In fact, let me just read off what I said. Where is the chain here? And here it is. Here's what I said. So I want to say for all aspiring creators out there, anyone can make it on YouTube. Literally anyone. How many people like this? Hold on. Alright, this had a lot more likes on it than I thought. 15, which, I mean, it might not seem like a lot. I have tweets with way more, but I'm just curious who liked it. Cool. Anyways, however, it doesn't happen just because you show up. Hell, you can have the sickest custom-made animated series ever created, but that hard work alone isn't going to get you far. The biggest thing about success on YouTube, or really anywhere, in any job out there, is a full understanding of the actual thing you are doing. You can be an amazing fireman, but if you suck at getting departments to notice your skills as a fireman, or you don't even bother to pass the basic training, you won't make it as a fireman. On YouTube, to be successful, it's not enough to just put in a lot of really hard work making super high quality content. That is step one, to be sure, but not the only step. That work keeps people there once they see your content. But getting them to see it is a whole new level. Now, some can get lucky and simply get noticed by a bigger YouTuber or a website, or have a friend that has a following give you a boost. But I believe you can make your own luck. YouTube shares content based on an algorithm, and there are ways to abuse it. This video right here, which I linked to my Switch hacking 6.2 update video, is the most viewed video on my entire channel. A little one-off ramble about a Switch update that temporarily paused Switch hackers. I can easily explain how this video got noticed, and my channel gained 2,000 subs from it. First, it was the thumbnail. It's eye-catching. It makes a bold statement. The title matches the thumbnail with some key text, like Nintendo, Switch hackers, and brilliant update. All metrics that, according to my research, perform very well on YouTube. The tags all match popular searches happening on YouTube as well. Doing all of that gets your video listed as suggested videos next to other videos about Switch and Switch hacking. This of course led to the video getting a bunch of dislikes from the hacking community and people laughing at me, but it also gained me 2,000 new legit subs, which has increased viewership on all of my other videos across the board. This is what is called organic growth. Growth I created by doing my own research and taking advantage of the algorithm. And by the way, no, I don't do this sort of research for every video, because I don't want to have to feel like I have to clickbait everything I do in order to get attention and new subs. However, doing stuff like this once in a blue moon helps grow your channel and thus gain you extra organic growth from your other content, so it doesn't need to be a regular thing. So what this means is, sure, luck does play a role. I couldn't have known this video was going to get 200,000 and be the most viewed video in Nintendo Prime history. However, I did know it was going to perform very well because of the research I had done, and love it or hate it, be a net overall positive for the channel, aka I created my own luck. This is what I mean when I say anyone can make it, but most people won't, because it's not just about the quality of the content and the video. It's about all the extra research on top that takes hours, sometimes days, to compile, let alone knowing how to research it in the first place. I wish luck to all small content creators out there, from the 10 sub channels to the 50,000 sub ones. We're all doing this for the love and passion of it. Just remember, it's not just about the content. So there you go. That's kind of my little spiel. My little explanation for just one way to possibly make it. One way out of the many possibilities out there. What video hit 200K? The one about Switch hacking. That I did put up a week ago. The 6.2 update video. hit 207,000, 208,000. I don't even know, somewhere in there. It's probably it can't grow anymore though. Oh! YouTube reapproved the video for ads, but it's only gained like 50 views. See, them flagging that video killed viewership on that video, even though it was only flagged for like 5 hours. Flagged for 5 hours, but views are totally killed on it. Anyways, it's the most viewed video in Nintendo Prime history at 207,516 views. Not the most viewed on this channel, but this channel used to be something else before Nintendo Prime. But since it became Nintendo Prime, that's the most viewed video I've ever put up. That, in fact, where does that video rank? I know it ranks in the top 10, that's for sure. Let me see here. Sort by most popular. Maybe it isn't top 10. Let me see. Oh yeah, it's top 10. So My Body Is Ready at 1.4 million 7 years ago. And then the Robin and Zelda Williams Ocarina of Time interview commercial thing. That actually wasn't like blown up that much, but it blew up after Robin Williams died. That one blew up. The Skyward Sword epic trailer, battling Goma remastered about a year ago. A video we ripped off Kotaku 7 years ago about the Wii U. Top 10 Zelda items at 360,000. And then 2 of the bits of walkthroughs from Spirit Tracks. We had a day 1 Spirit Tracks walkthrough at Zelda Informer. Video version. So Final Boss Phase 3, Final Boss Phase 1. Those are both at... Actually, this should be ahead of that one. I don't know why it's not listed. Anyways. So I guess this would be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8th most viewed video. So Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks Final Boss Phase 3 has 289,000 views. And then Nintendo has defeated the Switch. Switch hackers with a brilliant update. 207,000 views. The next closest video from Nintendo Prime is, let me see, what was that? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 14th most popular video, which was a year ago, about gamers misunderstanding Nintendo Switch, which has 119,000 views. And then I wanted 111, why it's hard to be a Nintendo fan. That was one I did at the end of last year, about a year ago. And then the Philip Houston story, the update to it when the story got worse, that has 88,000 views. Those are all my top viewed ones. There's some other ones too. Sony and others can't understand the Switch's audiences, 84,000. The Switch Doom team is upset at fan reactions, 68,000. There's some original content in here. Hold on, where is it? What if the Wii U was the Wii HD and released in 2010? That's an original piece of content. That's 50,000 views. But yeah, slowly but surely, Nintendo Prime is starting to overtake all the old Zelda Informer videos that I created. Well, I didn't create all of them, but a lot of them. Slowly but surely, Nintendo Prime videos are taking over. So it's not just all Zelda. Zelda. Let's see here. Am I going to be watching the Video Game Awards, then doing a countdown live stream for Smash? I'm not doing a countdown live stream for Smash because I won't have Smash at midnight. But I will be live streaming the Video Game Awards. Well, I'll be live reacting to that. What's your experience and thoughts on the Xenoblade series? I've only played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and it's really, really damn good. So I imagine the rest of the series is also really, really damn good. Have I tried the new mode in Kirby Star Allies? Nope, because I don't own Kirby Star Allies anymore. Most of my physical collection of games has been sold off. I have some of it back, but reality is most of my physical games are no longer in my possession. Sold them off to pay bills. So can't try out any modes in games that I no longer have in my possession. Apra CS Soken claiming stuff. Gee, I don't have an issue with claims anymore. So I have a confession to make. You're 150K of the 200,000 views Nate has on all of his top videos. Yeah, okay. Sure you are. How many comments are on that video? I didn't even look. There's so many comments. There is 1,726 comments on that video. That's not my most commented video. There's ones that have way more comments than that, but wonder how many comments were on My Body's Ready. I mean, it's got 1.4 million views. The My Body Is Ready gains like 10,000 extra views every month. But 1,800 on that one. Let's see here. How about the Robin Williams one? Yeah, 2,800 on that one. Nice. Nice. How about the Switch storage issue? How many comments on that one? 1,300. Huh. Just interesting looking back at some videos I made. But yeah, 207,000 is the most I've ever gotten on any video at Nintendo Prime by quite a significant margin. Because that's already like 80,000, 88,000. That's 88,000 views ahead of my next biggest video at Nintendo Prime. 88,000 views ahead. It's so crazy to me. So crazy. I wonder if any of my E3 videos are up here from last year. Let me see. Do we have any that hit 30,000 during E3? I don't remember if any of our E3 videos blew up. Oh, our hands-on impression video of Wolfenstein 2 at E3 this past year hit our top. What is this? How many per row? 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. Hit our top 50. Wolfenstein 2 hit the top 50. Nice. Good. I want to do more videos like that, but I don't always get early access to games to do that. So, well, it all leaked. That video's up there too at 32,000. Blah, 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 blah. All right, let me get back to the actually what's going on here. Life crap sucks, doesn't it? I can smell the KY jelly through your screen. Let's see here. How's it going, Mark, by the way? I haven't seen you in a long time. Saw that your Patreon patronage fell off. I haven't seen you around much, man. Obviously, you have. I don't think. Have you super chatted or done anything since June? Right? Donated? I think you did like that big donation in June. That ended up being nice because I had surgery in June. So that ended up being nice. But it's been a long time, man. How's it going? Was it 6 months? Well, no, not quite 6 months. Because I think it was like June 20th or 22nd or somewhere in there where you gave money. Maybe it was the week before that. I don't remember. It's a long time ago now. 6 months ago is a long time, man. Let's see here. It always seems like crap I mentioned earlier always happens around E3 or a big release or even a system release, but when nothing is happening, literally nothing is happening. Nothing in my gaming life compared to the rest of my life. God, I mean, it sucks, man. Did you watch the new second trailer for the Captain Marvel? I haven't even watched the first trailer. Fun fact, I don't really watch trailers for movies very often. Unless it's shown to me at a movie theater. So, no, I haven't. Did Prime comments turn into Prime answers? I can't remember if you addressed that before or not. I replaced Prime comments with Prime answers. It's just easier for me than... Plus, I don't send it into my Q&As that I do live streams of live after the fact. So it's just easier for me personally to have that standalone Q&A kind of video for you guys. And then I don't have to spend the time trying to pick out comments and people getting mad at me when I don't pick out their comments. And it's like, no, I'll answer all the questions. Any question thrown at me, I'll answer. Unless it's inappropriate. Let's see here. What if it was possible? Name any first or third party game ports would be great on the Switch. Name your top 5. Assuming that everything's possible, I mean, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I don't know. This is in no particular order. Madden, but that's just because I really want Madden. Kingdom Hearts 3. So many third-party games. You know, I honestly want Call of Duty Black Ops 4 on Switch. I think it would just do awesome on Switch. And probably right now, Red Dead Redemption 2. And there's some older games I might... Yeah, I'm just going to stick with that. Never forget the first Captain Marvel trailer where she punched that old lady. I didn't even watch it, so... Now that you guys are talking about Captain Marvel, chances are I'm going to watch some Captain Marvel trailers before I go to bed, just because now it's on my mind. I'm not even trying to avoid spoilers or anything. I just don't usually watch movie trailers very often. Until the movie is like out or about to come out, then I'll watch the trailer to see if I want to go to it or not. Generally, if it's a Marvel movie, I already know I want to go. But... when do you think we will reach the brink of performance? Like in 20 years, we'll have photorealistic Zelda and Mario at 1,000 FPS. Won't happen in my lifetime. 2 reasons it won't happen in my lifetime. I don't think we're ever going to hit 1,000 FPS in my lifetime, even at frickin' 720p. So, there's that. As for realistic, Zelda and Mario would have to decide they want to use realistic art styles. And that's not going to happen. So now you have 2 things ultimately working against it. Never going to happen before I die. So, not going to happen before I die, then I don't really want to think about it. Just wishful thinking, but do you think the Square Enix Avengers game will be on Switch? By the way, it's supposed to be shown at the Game Awards. No, I do not. For some reason, I get this feeling Disney doesn't want to really do much with Switch. Don't know why, but I just get this feeling. Maybe it's because of all the partnerships Nintendo has with Universal now, so they got some pettiness there. For some reason, I just get this feeling, we don't want our stuff on Switch. Which is fine. It's not like a lot of the Disney IP games are, super ultra amazing most of the time anyways. Blah, blah, blah. Pineapple. I should probably do one last sweep of the news wire here to see if anything happened while I've been streaming. Thinking about trying to get a video done for tomorrow morning, or late tonight, I guess. There's a few things going on, but like anything that's worth me making an individual video about. Let's see here. We know about the new games coming December 12th. Well, I guess we already knew about them though. For the NES stuff. Already talked about that Metroid Prime trilogy rumor. It's not even a rumor. Well, nothing there. That website though doesn't always have much, so probably not the best website to be looking at. I probably should be checking Twitter and Reddit and all that stuff too right now. Oh, jeez. What a disappointment. I almost made a video on this too. Oh my god. Oh, so the other day, Koei Tecmo teased they have a mystery game coming to Nintendo Switch, right? And I almost made a video on it. Almost. But I decided against it because I didn't want you guys getting super, super hyped for some of Koei Tecmo's best offerings. Because I had a feeling it wasn't going to be something worth getting hyped about. And granted, I could have been wrong. And it could have ended up being, one of their best IPs, and I'd be eating my shorts that I didn't get a video out when I knew about the tease. The Koei Tecmo mystery game for Nintendo Switch is Winning Post 9. Oh, it's a horse racing game, guys. Granted, I hear it's a decent horse racing game. but I'm so glad that I didn't make a big deal out of that. I almost regretted that because I'm like, oh, I know that video is gonna get a lot of views. Like if I tease this it's gonna get tons of views. But I'm like, gosh, I have a feeling it's gonna be something no one's gonna care about. I just had a feeling, and my feeling was validated. Do I watch Shane Dawson? Not regularly, no. I watched his Jake Paul series, the Minded Jake Paul series, but I don't watch him regularly. It doesn't have to be those games. Maybe a better question is, when do you think games will look as good as the trailers? Never. Because as long as they're willing to use CGI, it'll never look as good. That's why they use CGI. How awesome would it be if we had a Metroid game in VR? Don't really like VR that much, so to me, I'll take a pass. I'll probably try it, though. If I can't lose millions at the track, then it's not a real horse racing game. Precision. We don't do sub for sub stuff here. That's why I'm not showing your comment. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate version 1.1.0. The update's already out. You know why? Because the Amazon Spain released the game. That makes me really feel like it was planned, like it was a planned release. Good. Well, that's probably good for Amazon Spain because they have a holiday, like literally tomorrow, like the day the game comes out. Right? It's 12/5 right now. It's Thursday, right? No, Wednesday. So Thursday, yeah. It's a holiday from 12/6 to 12/9 in Spain where they couldn't ship the game out, so they probably had permission from Nintendo to send it out a few days early. Limited Run Games sends out an update on its Switch products. Anything exciting? Well, the physical version of Ukulele Classic Edition will be in late January. Golf Story physical version, January. Limited Run Games has a lot of like physical versions of indie games. Nintendo Switch gameplay. Look at V-Rally 4. Yeah, I'm not seeing much besides like the yearly energy cost of the Switch is like $3 a month? Something like that? Or wait, no. Is that per year? I don't even know. Yeah, $3 per year. Or I'm sorry, €3 per year? Which is on par, and that's for running the system for 2 hours a day. That's on par with, not really on par with, with Wii. Speaking of KOI, they Ninja dropped the Altair spin-off trilogy on Switch. Nice. Has there been any news on a Hat in Time for Switch? Not that I'm aware of. I would like to see that on. Have I seen Arc gameplay? I mean, can we call it gameplay? I mean, I guess it's gameplay. I mean, it feels like you're playing a PlayStation 1 game. And like, when I take my glasses off, the game looks even better. A hot, blurry mess with bad frame rate looks better without my glasses on when I can't notice how big of a hot, blurry mess it is because everything's blurry with my glasses. And even then I can tell it's blurry. Oh. I don't even want to say Arc's a lazy port. Arc barely runs on PlayStation 4 and Xbox. On PC, it's broken in some areas. It's just a poorly made game. So like, when you talk about, oh, it's such a bad port to Switch, I'm like, the game doesn't really run on any other platform it's on. No one should have, like, I don't even know why they put it on Switch. Just because, I guess, the PC version can look pretty, so they were hoping that people would buy it thinking it would look pretty on Switch? it doesn't really. It's garbage on like everything it's on. And I don't want to like insult the developers. I think they had like good intentions and they tried really hard. They should have kept it as like a one platform game and just focused on nailing that platform. I know you want it on more platforms for bigger exposure, but man, focus on making a good game first. For an open world survival type game such as Breath of the Wild, would you prefer maxed out visual effects locked 30 FPS or 1080p medium locked 60 and why? That is a very weird question. It's not a PC game, so it's not like you have the options anyways. And a lot of stuff is dependent on art style more than anything. So I don't know. I can't give you an answer. How would I know? I mean, I prefer 60 FPS, I can tell you that. But like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm at a loss for words. You're trying to like draw a comparison to like all the different options you can have on PC, but like Breath of the Wild is what it is. So they don't really have options. It doesn't really matter what I would prefer. There's not really a choice. Nintendo will release Smash Bros. At 9 p.m. tomorrow in Japan. Well, I mean, they do 9 p.m. releases in the U.S. too on Thursday. It's just, like Japan's almost like 12 hours ahead, 14 hours ahead. What is Japan? Yeah, remember they're pretty decently far ahead of our time zone. Saying PS1 games to insult the PS1 games. I mean, it looks better than a SNES game, okay? So I couldn't go back to SNES. I don't know. Have you seen the PlayStation 1 Classic? I think Ark would fit right in. Ark on Switch would fit right in with that lineup, man. I'm telling you. Tidy whities or boxers? I'm a boxer brief kind of guy. So neither. I wear the crossover. I'm a crossover kind of guy. What can I say? I'm curious. How big is the install for Ark? Like, do we know? Like, if it's only like a 6 gig game, then it just fits on the smallest cart. So it's not like they needed a lot of money for that. But I don't know how big Ark is. I haven't done enough research into it. As soon as I started seeing some early gameplay of it like a month ago, I'm like, oh my god, I'm not getting that one. And I thought about getting it just as like maybe one of those pretty games, right? That just looks good in the background of videos, but like it's garbage. It's just no. Anime thighs or Smash Bros. All what are you talking about? I don't understand that comparison. Smash is irrelevant unless you play offline. Yeah, Brett Cummings, I know about your affinity for paying for Switch Online. They released a physical version of Ark. Yeah, it's a physical version of Ark. You can go right to your local game store or Walmart and buy it right now. $60. I think it's 60. Is it? I don't even know. I might pick it up. Just to be like, is it really that bad? I don't know. I've never actually seen it in person. Is it really that bad? GameStop. Ark Survival Evolved. Sorry, $50. GameStop already has used copies for $40. The game just came out. The game just came out, and GameStop's not even doing like we're gonna sell it for $48. They can't even sell the used copies, so they're selling it for $40. God, I can't wait for the used copies to drop to like $20 so GameStop can't sell them. Oh. Someone should almost pay me to buy the game. Just so I can make a video and be like, is it really that bad? Is it really that bad? I love the trailer too. Hold on. Hold on. Here's their Switch trailer. Okay. I think I know why they went with this trailer for Switch. No. The game doesn't even look like that. This is like fake footage. This is not what it looks like on Switch. This is totally fake footage. They fake the footage. Oh, man. Okay, well, that part's real. God, that's ugly. That part's definitely from the handheld version of the game. Oh, jeez. It's funny, too, at the very end of the trailer, there's like this boss fight with a spider. And it's just... you can see the FPS is like down to like 8 or 9. It just... Oh, man. Oh, this is bad. Let's see if I can show you guys the trailer. I don't know if I have it set up to do that. Maybe I do. Sure. Move the wheel down for now. Here you go. So I'm not gonna like. Let's just skip to the gameplay part. Because they start off, with the real life in person stuff, which obviously doesn't make any difference. Where's the gameplay even start? Oh, it starts right out here. All right. That right there looks better than the game actually looks in handheld. That looks better than the game looks in handheld. That looks better than the game. There you go. That's the money shot. That's the money shot. You want to know what this game looks like? Right there. That is the money shot. Oh my god. Let me blow this up for you guys. Because on your screen, it might not look that bad. Look at this. That's the money shot right there. Look at that. Look at those textures on those bushes. Look at the trees. Look, like, oh my god. That is, oh. It's a promotional trailer and they showed that. Why didn't they at least superimpose docked footage? Instead of, oh man. Maybe that is docked footage, I guess. But I've seen docked footage. It doesn't look as bad. There's a lot of pop. The trees look that bad in the background in docked, but up close stuff doesn't look that bad in docked. That's just... Not good. Not good. If Digital Foundry even does it, it's such an embarrassment. I don't know if they want to do it because it's gonna. I don't know if they want to make their developers look that bad. That is really bad. Those NES controllers were getting bashed on Twitter. Did people get the NES controllers? Yeah, I know they were supposed to release in December. I don't know if anyone got them yet, though. I mean, I think they're neat, but they're pointless outside of the NES games. Which I guess, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I wish they would be allowed to be used as certain indie games that want to build their game to be usable with them, but... we need more third party to be like Warframe. With making it clean and crispy. Warframe looks really good on Switch. But it's not clean and crispy. Let's be clear about it. It runs at sub HD. Let's not like pretend that Warframe's resolution is great. It tops out at 720 and it often runs at 540 or lower. So like Warframe isn't exactly rocking it. It just... Warframe's really good, by the way. It's a really pretty game. It's just, it's not... I mean, it's way the hell better than Ark, that's for sure. Oh, man. Why are bad ports allowed in the eShop? WWE and Ark are scams, in my opinion. They're AAA games. Like, you gotta remember, there's bad triple. I mean, Ark was crap on the PlayStation 4. So, like, what are you gonna do? You know, these companies pay good money to be there. I think the controls on the Switch version of Warframe are wonky, but I played it on PlayStation 4. It's been a long time since I even played the game, so I could, yeah. I mean, here's the thing: Warframe plays really well on Switch, but like it does run at sub HD a lot. In handheld, that doesn't really bother me as much. I noticed it on my TV; it's sub HD, but the rest of the game looks really, really good. So, you know, HD isn't everything, but it runs really well. Mackenzie Peters, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I really hate to be the bearer of bad news. Those 64 gigabyte cards aren't going to mean jack shit for AAA support. They aren't going to make any difference. You want to know why they're not going to? I won't go into it. I've gone into it before. But if you want me to go into it, I can explain to you why those 64 gigabyte cards aren't going to do anything for AAA support at all. Won't make a single shred of difference. Okay. And this isn't an insult to you, by the way. You know, if you don't know, you don't know. We can't even get games that are under 30 gigs to be on the 32 gigabyte cards. What makes you think third parties are waiting on the 64? The cartridges are massively expensive. Huge expenses. The 64 gigabyte card is going to be probably cost developers $15 to $20 to use. All of the games that we have been getting, take Doom. Doom on Switch, right? Requires a 9 gig download if you want to play online. Now you might be like, oh, well maybe the game's like 20 something gigs and that 9 gigs pushes it past the 32. Nope. They just don't want to use the bigger cart because it's too damn expensive. The carts are so expensive that the 64 gigabyte cart's not going to enable anybody but Nintendo to use games that get that big. But Nintendo games don't get that big. There's almost no point for the 64 gigabyte carts to even exist because no third party is going to touch them. Not with a 50-foot pole. I mean, most third parties right now only use the 8 gig carts, the base 8 gig model, and they make you download the rest. NBA 2K19 only uses the 8 gig model, and I have to download like 20 gigs of data. It can all fit on the 32 gig cart. They're not going to use the 32 gig cart because the freaking 32 gig cart's like $14. They're not going to use that. They're going to stick with the standard 8 that only costs them like $4. It's expensive. You got to remember, all those 64 gig discs or the dual layer 64 gig Blu-ray discs, pennies. They cost pennies. But that 8 gig cart's like $4. Yeah, the 64 gig carts ain't going to make a difference for it at all. I will be shocked if there's a single game that ever uses a 64 gig cart. Ever. Ark looks like it's in the alpha phase. It looks like an early release game. Even on like PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, it feels like an early release game on Steam. When you updated your Switch, it started smoking. Joel, that's not good. Do you think NBA 2K is staying on Switch? I mean, I don't know. NBA 2K18 obviously did well enough to get 2K19. Did 2K19 do well enough to get 2K20? We don't know. I mean, I see no reason for them not to. But, you know, it's all going to come down to sales, you know, or the sales maintaining. I hope so. I think NBA 2K19 is awesome on Switch. It looks like a Wii game, let's be real. Nah, dude. Ark Survival Evolved, especially in handheld. Ark Survival Evolved in handheld on Ark Survival Evolved in handheld on Switch. It looks like an N64 game. Just call it what it is. It looks like an N64 game. It does not look like a Wii game. That's an insult to Wii. Insult to Wii. Wii games can still look nice, just not in HD. This isn't even like still looking nice, but not in HD. This is like bare bones, polygonal textures. This is an N64 game. So, I mean, it doesn't look as bad in docked mode, but it's still not good. It's still not good. Looks like my sub progress has been going swimmingly. Well, we had a video blow up with 200,000 views. So, a lot of that's just because we had a video blow up. We had a video go viral. And now that video's done being viral. So, there's the end of that. But it was fun while it lasted. There might be one more day where it showed. No, I don't even think there's one more day. Pretty sure the views on that video are just done. YouTube kind of killed it because it hit 200,000, and then they did a little, oh, we don't think this is advertiser friendly. And as soon as they do that, it kills anyone else seeing the video. Even though I disputed it and won the dispute, it doesn't matter. The fact they flagged it at all for the ad stuff means the viewership on that video is dead. I would love to wake up tomorrow and be wrong and find out, oh, the video's got another 40,000 views and I've gained another 300 likes or 300 subs, but no. So the sub count's going to start really slowing back down. You know, we've been averaging, I mean, if you look at Social Blade, and I'll show you guys the stats I get to look at every day. Where is display capture? We'll just blow this up. Alright. So, I mean, you look what I get to look at, you know. I mean, here I was doing good with some other videos doing good. Like, look at what I was doing like 5,000 views a day. So, like, doing good, then it started doing better with some videos over the past, you know, week or two. And then all of a sudden, boom, the video that I released over a week ago, 40,000 views, 60,000 views, 64, 66, sub count. Yeah, nice little boost here. This boost was from that the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Leak video. And then it kind of stayed high, and then boom, 219, 296, 274, 276. And now instantly, because YouTube did this stupid little, oh, your video might not be advertiser friendly thing on it, the video's done. Absolutely done. That's what sucks the most about that claim. It isn't that they claim it and I lose the revenue. They claim it, and even when you dispute it and win the dispute, the video's still dead. The video will not even get another 500 views. Like, all that momentum in that video, it should have a natural slowdown. Okay, it goes from 40 to 60, 64 to 66. Now it should drop down to like 30, drop down to 20, drop down to 10. It won't have that. It's going to go from 66,000 views in the one day to like, I'm going to be back down to like 8,000 views tomorrow. It's going to be a massive drop off. Why? Because of the stupid ad claim. It's so infuriating how YouTube does that shit. And I won the dispute, meaning YouTube was wrong to ever put the ad claim on it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So that's life. So everything's going to be slowing down like rapid fire in a hurry. Which is, it's all good. You know, it's one video. You can't just sit there and rely on that one video. So, and I haven't been. I've been making a lot of videos. Just, I'm really sad Prime News didn't do better today. I mean, it might crack 1,000 maybe. It's 859 right now. It'll probably crack 1,000, but I wish it would do more. I love Prime News. It's one of my favorite video series. I wish it was a series that performed better, but it's life. I make it because I enjoy it. You have to feed your wife and kids. So us Nintendo fans are shafted because these third parties are too cheap. I mean, you can look at it as we get shafted because third parties are too cheap. there's many reasons third-party games aren't on Switch. One, Switch is not that powerful of a platform. You need to accept that. It's a reality. Switch is not a very powerful platform. So the idea of a game like Red Dead Redemption 2 coming to Switch is just laughable. Laughable. Some games are just not possible on Switch. Now, storage-wise, what has to be remembered is any game that releases on Switch from a third party, automatically 30% of that game's cost goes directly to Nintendo. So, NBA 2K19, right? Let me get out the old calculator here. So let me see. We got 59. Well, fine. We'll just round up. I'll just go with 60. Right. So $18 out of that 60 goes directly to Nintendo automatically. Okay, that's their flat fee. Sony and Xbox are the same way. So you subtract 18 off that physical copy. Sorry, hold on, clear. So we got 60 minus 18. All right. So now you're down to $42 sale. All right. About $10 of that goes to the retailer you bought it from. Okay, that's the retailer's profit margin on that game, which is a very low profit margin compared to pretty much every other thing out there. But whatever. $10 off the top goes to the retailer. Now you're down to $32. Okay. Now on top of that, you got to figure you have the case. Forget the cartridge. You have the jewel case. You have the shipping of the cartridge from your place to the warehouse and the additional storage. That adds on, let's say $8. About $8 worth of whatever. All right, so now you're down to $24 in actual profits on that physical copy. Oh, now on PlayStation or Xbox, it would be like $23 because there'll be about 50 cents roughly or under the cost for the disc. Not on Switch. 8 gigabyte cart minus $8. Now you're down to 16. Oh, you want to use a 16 gigabyte cart? Cool. Minus 12. Now you're down to $12 of profit. Oh, you want to use the 32 gigabyte cart? Ho 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 ho! You better minus a clean 15 off of that. Now you're down to $9 of profit on a $60 game. Think about that. If they used a 32 gigabyte cart on NBA 2K19, they would make less money per physical game sold on Switch than the retailer makes. So before we start saying, because they're too cheap, that's because they actually want to make money on their game. It's not just about being too cheap. They actually want to profit. These companies are for profit. They're not released. Oh man, we released a $60 game so we can make $9 in profit. And that's, by the way, none of that's counting taxes and other fees. But even be less than $9 if they use the 32 gig card. So, whose fault is it? Is it their fault because they actually want to make money? Or is it Nintendo's fault because they're charging, they're not even giving a wholesale deal to these companies. They're just charging them straight up. Nintendo, that's the problem with cartridges or with carts, is that Nintendo doesn't eat the cost of them. Nintendo already gets $18 of every sale. They could minus the cost of the cart out of that $18. Nintendo doesn't want to do that. Nintendo doesn't want to do that. Do you realize on a $60 game, if they use a 32 gig cart, on a $60 game, $15 for the 32 gig cart plus 18, Nintendo would make $33 off every physical game sold, off the licensing fees to put it on their platform, and then off of the cost of the cart. It's absolutely ridiculous. So before you start blaming all these third-party companies, you're lazy, you're cheap bastards, why don't you use the bigger cart sizes? Because they're fucking expensive. They're expensive as fuck. They make it almost not profitable to even put the game on the platform. That's why you don't see these companies using the bigger size carts. It's too damn expensive. And Nintendo won't eat the cost of the carts to encourage them to keep using the bigger ones. Bottom line is, whatever Nintendo charges for the 8 gig cart is what they should charge for all the carts and eat the extra cost over the top out of their 30% profit margin on every game sold. But they won't do that. And you got to remember, they don't even, it's not even like a super big deal because Nintendo also gets 30% of all the digital sales in their marketplace, and none of that has cart costs associated at all. So the bottom line is, when you have a company, like 2K bringing NBA 2K19 to the system, part of that involves it being profitable. If the game is not profitable on Switch, which isn't just the fact that, it is profitable. They make $9, per game sold if they use the 32 gig card. It's profitable. It's not profitable until they exceed the cost to port the game to Switch. Profits don't actually begin until development costs are paid for. So they hire this company. They pay them, $1 million, whatever, to port it to Switch. It needs to hit $1 million of profits to even break even. And at $9 per cart? I mean, what is that? Let me just do the math quick. I mean, that's 111,000 copies they would have to sell just to hit the $1 million, and it probably costs more than $1 million to get it on Switch. That's not even profitable levels yet. That's gotta be careful with those carts, man. Granted, I don't blame Nintendo for using carts. I don't. I really, really don't. There's a lot of advantages to cartridges, such as the fact you don't have to install your games. But there's a real cost associated with them. And Nintendo is choosing not to eat into their own margins to make it cost effective for everybody else. Like they should. It still would be profitable for Nintendo, but they don't want to just be profitable. They want all the money. So, I love cartridges. And you might be like, oh, why wasn't it an issue on 3DS? You were dealing with minuscule sizes on 3DS. You weren't dealing with, gigs, right? Multiple gigs. NAND flash memory. Like, it's expensive stuff. So, again, the thing is, I can't blame Nintendo for using cartridges, but I'm not sure, I don't know. Nintendo just needs to find a way to make them cheaper. And I don't know. I mean, they're not going to do it, so. Because you gotta remember, Nintendo's greedy too. Nintendo wants to make money too. It's not enough for Nintendo to only make a few dollars off somebody else's game on their platform. They gotta make 18 every time. $18 a crack. They gotta make it. I mean, it's not every game. Obviously, indie games that are cheaper, 30% of a $5 game is an $18, but you know what I mean. Super Bonnie Bros TV, what a weird question. Do you like Logan Paul? I don't hate him, but I don't know him. Do I like his content? Not really. I mean, he's one of those vloggers. I mean, I think he does a lot of stupid things, but he's 8 years younger than me. I did a lot of stupid things back then too, But that's a really I just say I don't hate him. I don't know him, so I can't hate him. But I definitely not a fan of his content. I can say that. Would you even use discs with a portable? Sony did. They used UMDs. Remember when they were using UMDs? Those are expensive too. Those aren't cheap either. That's the problem. They are technically cheaper than the cartridges, but they're still expensive. And then Sony went ahead and started using proprietary memory. Oh my god. Like, at least Nintendo's using micro SD cards. Like, they were like, no, we gotta have a proprietary memory that we're gonna charge you $100 to get like 16 gigs of it. It's like, oh my god, what are you doing, Sony? What are you doing? But yeah, PSP had UMD discs. Wasn't a great delivery method either, and because it involved having a spinning disc and moving parts, that caused issues too. If in a portable, you don't want a lot of moving parts. So you would rather not. You would rather have a cartridge than a UMD disc. But I mean, there's cost associations. There's a lot of. GameCube was a portable. GameCube wasn't a portable. Just because it had the lunch pail design, it wasn't portable. Come on. It was just meant to be taken over to your friend's house, not meant to be played in your car. Oh, GameCube. Love GameCube. But yeah. You took your GameCube everywhere with you? I mean, it came with the handle, right? It gave you the handle to take it everywhere. I never actually carried it by the handle, though, to take it places. I just put it in my backpack. I brought my GameCube a lot of places, too, but, I mean, I brought like, all that. It wasn't just like a GameCube thing. I brought my Wii a lot of places. I brought my N64. I remember packing up the OG Xbox and going to LAN parties. Like, I packed up anything. Just throw it all in a backpack. As long as it fits in a backpack, it's coming with. But I wasn't playing it, like, on the car or, you know. I just brought it over to my friend's house when I spent the night. You know, brought it to the hotel, etc. The Bit Block is Josh Thomas, for those wondering who recognize him. When you took your Wii places, I hope you took your wife too. I didn't have a wife. I still don't have a wife. What are you talking about? I have a fiance, but I didn't know her back in the Wii days. So. Do I like Fortnite? Yeah, it's alright. What Nintendo announcement do you want to see at the Game Awards? What Nintendo announcement do I want to see? I want a brand new Legend of Zelda game, baby. It ain't gonna happen, though. So there's what I want to see and what's gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. I always want a new Zelda game, though. If I had it my way, every new Nintendo Direct would have a brand new Breath of the Wild style Zelda game announced. But, I mean, no. It'd be cool to see Animal Crossing there. Totally the wrong audience to show off Animal Crossing, too. But I love Animal Crossing. I'm just glad to know it's coming next year. I just want to know when we're going to finally see it, you know? It'll probably be in a Nintendo Direct next year, I'm sure. But, I mean, it comes out next year, supposedly. So, Prime 4 is a chance. Yeah, Prime 4 was announced at E3 2017. It has a chance, of course. I think Bayonetta 3 is like pretty much guaranteed to be there. It's the only game I'm expecting. I don't expect anything else. Anything else would be a surprise to me. I mean, Metroid Prime 4 would be less of a surprise to me than a lot of other games. But I think Bayonetta 3, just because it was unveiled originally at the Game Awards, will be shown again at the Game Awards. And Prime 4 makes some sense to me too, but I don't think Prime 4's... Here's the thing. My big thing on why I don't think we're going to see Metroid Prime 4, I don't think it has a shot in hell of coming out next year. So if it's not coming out next year, I don't know why they would show it now. Now, at the Game Awards 2019, alright, cool. But I don't think Prime 4 is coming out next year. So I don't think there's a shot in hell they're showing it. But I wouldn't be surprised. It is a good audience to show it to. It's 11 million people of those hardcore gamers. Like, it would be a good audience to show Metroid to. But, the problem with that, though, is the very fact Bayonetta 3 is a game nobody cares about. It's a game a lot of people care about. It's just not a game you care about. The kind of people that care about Bayonetta 3 are the kind of people that care about the Game Awards. Which I'm assuming is not the kind of thing you care about. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I know I just made a completely baseless assumption. Completely baseless assumption. Won't know if you care about the Game Awards or not. Never even crossed my mind to even talk to you about the Game Awards. Just like I keep meaning to email you. I have your email written down, and I keep meaning to email you so we can like hook up and do a podcast or do some joint conversation content. You know, I know you like doing the conversations with like Roger Bass and some other people. I think it'd be kind of cool to do some joint stuff like that. But like everything in life, I just forget to ask. I'm so busy. I mean, last week I put out like 17 videos. Oh, I'm so busy. I'm doing so much content. I forget. I have like all these emails. Like someone sent me a key code for like that YouTube game. Like there's like apparently a game built around like YouTube emulator kind of where like you're a YouTuber. I actually wanted to play that sometime and be like, okay, come on. There's no way in hell this is representative of my life as a YouTuber. And sure enough, it starts off with like someone who's like 10 years old being a YouTuber, and I'm like, TOS, you got to be 13. No Bayonetta game has sold 1 million copies, even with the promotions and push for the games. I actually don't think that's true. Hold on. Let me look at the Bayonetta sales here quick. I know Bayonetta 1 did, but that was on multiple systems, So, Bayonetta 2 sold about 400,000 on Switch. But I think Bayonetta 1 on Xbox 360 sold over 1 million. I'm trying to find the Bayonetta 1 sales. The Bayonetta 2 didn't like move mountains at all, but it was a little tough because it was a series that started out on Xbox and PlayStation. So the PlayStation version of it sold. Oh yeah, it sold 1.21 million just on PlayStation 3. That's just PlayStation 3. I'm sure with Xbox 360 combined, it's probably over 2. So, yeah, the OG Bayonetta sold, 1 to 2 million units. So, it's been a million seller. It just hasn't been on Nintendo systems. Which, I mean, of course. It's not like Nintendo systems are known for having the kind of audience that plays Bayonetta. It is nice to see that Bayonetta 2 did sell better on Switch than Wii U. But still, 400,000. It's not even at 500,000. But who knows? Maybe Bayonetta 3 can hit 500,000. Maybe it'll be 1 million. Who knows? I mean, we just got Xenoblade Chronicles 2 to 1.5, and no Xenoblade game had ever sold over 1 million before Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So, maybe Switch is different. Maybe when Bayonetta 3 lands on Switch, maybe it will sell 1 million. Who knows? I mean, heck, this is the platform that sold... Well, then again, I would say this is the platform that sold, 1 million of Mario Tennis Aces and Super Mario Party that are probably way worse games than Bayonetta 3. But ultimately, they still have Mario in the title, and it's just going to sell systems because there's Mario in the title. Have I beaten Perfect Dark 64? Yes, long time ago. Sorry if you acted selfish. It just saddens me seeing games on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One that would be awesome on the go. It's okay. We're all free to dream. I want every game that ever exists on Switch, but it's just... I know it's not realistic. What Nintendo announcement do I want to see? Oh, yeah, I already answered that. Let's see here. Yes, we need a Beyond Good Evil 2 on Switch. That'd be sweet. I haven't seen the Xbox or PlayStation sales. Only know of the Nintendo sales for Bayonetta 1 and 2 and noticed that neither even sold 500,000. Yeah. Well, the problem too, Josh, is like that was on Wii U. And look, I like Wii U. I really do. I do like Wii U. But I mean, it only sold 13.5 million units. Like, I mean, almost every single Wii U port on Switch sold better than the original on Wii U because more people own Switch. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know if like Wii U is a good measurement is what I'm trying to say. Like, is Wii U really a proper measurement for the success of what Bayonetta could potentially do? I don't know. You know? I don't know. I mean, you can argue it sold 700,000. Bayonetta 2 has now between Wii U and Switch, but yeah. That would mean that you're not counting the fact that probably a lot of those people rebought it on Switch to have it on the go. Yeah, Lady Gaga really likes Bayonetta games. That's true, and she'll probably say something about Bayonetta 3. Who knows? Again, who really knows what's going to happen? You know, we're thinking about a hypothetical future where Bayonetta 3 performs better than expected. So, who knows? Everything's performing better than expected on Switch. So, at least better than what I expected it to. All I'm saying is I'm salty until Pikmin 4 or Animal Crossing launch. Until then, I hate everything. I got that feeling. That video you put up on, I even forgot what it was titled. Wasn't it like why the Switch sucks or something? I don't even know. I don't even remember what you titled it. That video where you went off for like, what was it, 30 minutes? 37 minutes, I think it was, about how much the Switch sucks or why you don't like the Switch. I kind of got the feeling in that video that it was like, if they had just given old Joshy Thomas over there, the two games he really, really wants, if they had just given him a little Animal Crossing, if they had just added like 4 more maps to Super Mario Party and allowed you to play all those maps online, if they had just done like that and then, at least said Pikmin 4 was coming, then Josh Thomas over there might have felt a little different about Switch. Still would have, like, some of the criticisms you have would have obviously still stood, but you would have been like, but I got the games I wanted, and they ended up being really good. That's the hope, anyways. I hope they don't bastardize those games. I assume they're not going to bastardize Animal Crossing. I mean, it was huge on 3DS. I don't know. I don't foresee any. I mean, even Pocket Camp's not that bad. Pocket Camp's all right on phones. So I have pretty big hope for Animal Crossing on Switch to be pretty good. Don't know if it's going to do everything I want it to do, but I think it's going to be pretty good. If you could live in any Nintendo world, which would it be? Obviously, Animal Crossing. Hello, I could be mayor. Of course, I would exercise my powers a bit better. Why is the mayor paying off debt to one of his citizens that's supposed to pay me taxes? When do you think Nintendo's next-gen platform will release? Seeing how you don't think the Switch is competing with the PlayStation 5 and next Xbox? 2023. Something like that. Switch is going to get a full 5 years at least. So that would put it out to 2022, 2023. Animal Crossing Switch is going to do what Breath of the Wild did for Zelda. But Animal Crossing New Leaf already did what Breath of the Wild... Like, Animal Crossing New Leaf on 3DS already Breath of the Wild, the Animal Crossing franchise, in terms of making it, like, super, super popular. Like, don't get me wrong, Animal Crossing was always kind of a big deal, but it was like Splatoon big deal. 5, 6, 7 million. And then it hits on 3DS and just boom, 11 million plus. Better selling than any Zelda game ever. Until Breath of the Wild came along. And even then, I think its totals are still ahead of Breath of the Wild. Why am I now just having fun with Fighter Z with Smash Ultimate coming in and giving me this stink eye? That's just what happens, man. You play games, you hate them, you play them again later, realize maybe you were being too harsh, and next thing you know, you're having a good time. The Switch is going to be around for 10 years. The 3DS won't die. Why should the Switch die before the 3DS? It won't die before the 3DS. The 3DS, next year will be the last year for 3DS. Period. It'll be it. 2019 is it. That'll be the end of 3DS. And 3DS was kind of dragged along, right? So why would Switch be around for 10 years? The only way it'll be around for 10 years is if there's many versions of it. Many versions of it. Many upgraded versions of it. It's possible Switch could be around for a decade if they're going to do like a Switch 2.0, a Switch Pro, and they're just going to consider that all like the same unified platform. So in that case, it could last 10 years. I don't think that's going to happen. That's what I want to happen, but for people like Josh Thomas, I'm sure they'll be more than happy to move on to the next big Nintendo system. Because he doesn't care about portability, if I remember right. That was one of his things. He's like, portability is cool, but I don't care about it. Which is totally understandable. Some people just don't care about portability. So they don't want their system kind of held back because of it. Just Cliff, I hate that idea. I'll tell you why I hate that idea. Fracturing the fan base. If you want an only home console experience with Switch, never take it off the dock. My Switch sits on my dock probably a good 70% of the time. Never take it off your dock. Home console. It doesn't fix, like, they're not going to make it run faster and run even better than docked mode already runs, because now developers have to develop for 3 different types of Switch specs. That's not going to happen. So, what would they replace the 3DS with? The Switch. They're gonna release a new Switch XL or Switch Pro next year. It's going to be $300. They're gonna drop the price of the current Switch to $250 or $200, and that's gonna replace the 3DS. Done. It's already in the cards. Done. Finito, finado. Have I seen the 2DS Christmas ad? I mean, just imagine waking up as a kid on Christmas and getting a 2DS instead of a Switch. My kids got 2DSs last Christmas instead of a Switch. They love it. You know how many awesome games are on 2DS and 3DS? Like, there's a lot of really good games. And my kids are going to be happy with those platforms forever. That being said, I am planning on getting my son a Switch. Correction. Let me backtrack on that. I'm planning to get myself a brand new Switch. And then system transfer everything and he can have my old Switch. Because he has beat the hell out of my Switch. All of any sort of damage on my Switch has been because of my son. So you know what? Daddy's going to get a new Switch and he can have my old one. But I don't know if I'm doing that for Christmas. I might do that for a reward. He's been really good about doing chores. He's been like the only one of the 3 kids always doing his chores. So I might just give it to him as a reward whenever I can afford a new one. It's just like, hey. And I know he's getting Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze from my mom for Christmas for Switch. I'm like, Mom, why are you buying him a game to play on my system? On my system, why are you buying him that game? Kind of makes me feel like I need to buy another Switch and give him mine. Because he's already going to have a Switch game. And no, he's not going to keep using Daddy's work Switch. Do I miss the Game Boy series of handhelds? Nah. I mean, I have some nostalgia for it, but nah. You believe a supplemental computing device that was shown in early NX patents will be implemented on the Switch? Nope. And by the way, those weren't NX patents. Those were just supplemental computing device patents. We have no idea if they had any relation at all to Switch. That was all speculation. We had no idea what, if anything, it was related to. Nintendo has 10,000 patents. Most of them don't become anything. Do I have a Joy-Con drifting problem? Nope. Tropical Freeze is the best 2D platformer on the console. A lot of people would argue Celeste, but Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is, in my opinion, one of the best 2D side-scrolling platformers of all time. But just side-scrolling platformers, I guess. I shouldn't call it 2D. It's got 3D elements. But best side-scrolling platformer of all time. One of the best, anyways. It's up there. Probably top 5. It is difficult. My son loves it, though. He is not someone who gets turned off by the difficulty. he'll keep replaying and replaying and replaying and replaying until he gets it. He'll ask me to help him, and I'm like, no, kid. Do it yourself. I ain't your slave. I'm like, I had to figure it out when I was a kid. My dad didn't help me, so figure it out. Sometimes I'll tell him, I'll give him a tip, but I won't actually pick up the controller and play it for him, you know. He's got to learn. He's the one who chose to pick up, like, one of the hardest platformers. You know, it couldn't be like Kirby or something. No, it had to be. It had to be the super. You know what? It's because I didn't have Kirby. By the time I started letting him touch my Switch, I didn't have Kirby Star Allies anymore. Otherwise, he probably would have been playing the hell out of Kirby Star Allies too. Oh, he cries and pouts. Humanopoly. He cries and pouts, but he gets it eventually. He'll cry, he'll pout, he'll beg, and then he'll figure it out, and then he gets really, really happy. Like, sometimes it takes him days. The last level in Tropical Freeze he beat, it took him like... The reason he can't play it now is I sold my copy of Tropical Freeze. But the last level he beat in the game, it took him 2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks. But when he beat it, God, he was so proud. Dad, I finally beat the level! I'm like, that's cool. Have fun with the next one. Doesn't get any easier from here. But it's all good. I just don't give into it. I'm just like, yeah, he'll eventually stop whining. He'll eventually stop asking. Is he playing normal mode? He's playing Funky Kong. He's doing Funky Kong mode. But he didn't select Funky Kong mode because he was trying to make it easier or I was trying to make it easier. I think he originally started because he did it all on his own. I didn't do anything. I think he originally grabbed that mode because it's just the default mode in the game. So he just went with it, and I think he doesn't even play with the guy with the surfboard very much because he played Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo Classic Edition, and then he played Donkey Kong Country Returns on the 3D on his 2DS. So like he really likes playing with Donkey Kong because that's who he played with on the other two games. So he doesn't even really use Funky Kong. But you know what? If he beats the game even with Funky mode with Donkey Kong, dude, I'll still be highly impressed, man. He's 5 years old. Hell yeah. Do I happen to watch Review Tech USA? Sometimes. What do I think of his channel? I like the content he produces. He's alright. He's basically just like me, just a gaming bloke talking about crap. Sometimes he says things I agree with, sometimes he says things I don't. I'm a little bit past the toilet humor. When I was younger, I used to be into his toilet humor, the cucumber, the sex jokes. And don't get me wrong, like, we still have our moments here on live streams. But, like, he does it in, like, almost every video, and it's like, man, I don't know. I kind of outgrew that stuff. Like, don't want to say outgrew the humor of it, but, like, thinking it's funny every single time, it's kind of like, okay. Alright. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't need to hear it anymore. Do they have Smash Design Joy-Cons? They do with the bundle. I don't know if they sell them separately, though. Do I think Nintendo's going to announce Netflix for Switch at the Game Awards? God, I hope not. Can you imagine if Nintendo went to the Game Awards and one of their big announcements was, hey, we finally got Netflix on Switch? Can you imagine? It would be a total Nintendo thing to do. Guys, be excited. We have Netflix on Switch. It's like, congrats, you have a bare basic feature that should have been there from day one. Game Awards announcement. They're not going to announce it. Actually, they didn't do an announcement for Hulu. They're not going to announce it. It's just going to come. It's going to happen. Just like with YouTube. It's just going to be released. They're not going to make a big deal out of it. Alright, I gotta go. It's 1 a.m. Time to get some sleep. My son has that dentist later today. Love you guys. Peace out. Thank you for the... Oh, I gotta give the shout-outs for the couple super chats we had earlier. Thank you, Matthew Campos, for your $2, and Sonic Man the Best for the $4. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.